What's up, everybody? Welcome to your pre-show for the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm Greg. That's Joester. And Joester, how the hell are you?
Good. How are you? I feel like I never talk to you anymore.
I know. No, we never do. It's usually,
two ships passing in the whatever. Are you taking my Diet Coke?
Oh, shit. Is that yours?
Yeah, but because I like you, I'll let you.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I found it in there, but I was like, it wasn't in there this morning. So my first thought was somebody put it in there by design. But then the other thought was people know how much I love Diet Coke.
Do you remember when she asked, should I order more Diet Cokes with lunch? And you talked her out of it.
Oh, I said no, but then I looked and I thought maybe she just ordered a smattering of them because she's a mind reader. I can go back and I can pour Coke Zero instead.
No, it's fine.
Are you sure?
It's totally fine. I don't care the difference between the two. Just next time I'm going to order a shit ton of sodas.
Listen,
because I know
here's the thing. One day.
Whatever, shut up, Nick.
One day we're going to. My shoes put up. One day we're going to get to a point where we just have a standing delivery order of these things.
You know we can do that now.
I know.
We can just do Amazon and have it delivered once a week.
I know. I think once a week, a pallet of Diet Coke, a pallet of Red Bulls, and a pallet of whatever thing
Anybody
Greg
else
drinks. It would be great.
Water?
Hot and spicy Cheez-Its.
Oh my God.
A whole pallet?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We don't need a pallet of that. But because what I'm saying is, yeah, Andy
Does he
eats.
do them too?
Oh, Andy eats everything.
He just eats crunchy shit for lunch and dinner and breakfast.
That's true.
You know what? Can we talk about Andy real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's not in the room.
Yeah. He does the weirdest fucking thing.
Tell me.
Oh, tell
And
me.
I don't like this.
Okay, lay it on me.
He eats things that come in tubes, packets of tubes. Okay. But he eats
Pop-Tarts.
them, Pop-Tarts and these Nutrigrain bars.
Okay.
But he
Those
breaks off
better
a part of the
be
top
things.
one, eats it, then breaks off a part of the bottom one, eats it, then opens the package more, breaks off a part of the top. And I'm like, you're a monster.
Yeah,
Who eats their food like
That's
that?
weird.
Is that
That's
not a
weird.
normal thing?
The
for
one
Pop-Tarts?
Pop-Tart out and you eat the Pop-Tart.
No,
one
'cause you don't-
Nutrigrain bar, you eat the Nutrigrain.
No,
Eat the one
because you want to
Nutrigrain bar.
keep all the like crummy pieces in the bottom.
That's fine. Then you eat the top one first,
Joey.
and then you eat
No,
the
I'm
bottom
Team Andy
one.
on this.
Joey, any idea who ordered the Sprite?
I think that I ordered one of every soda. You can have the Sprite if you want.
Oh, the
I
colors
wanted
of the
Coke. It was one
rainbow.
Coke, and
Can we see the chat
Here.
also? Okay.
They
yeah,
might have
sure.
given us
Grass
also
ass.
that. I don't know. I had to reorder everything because the Squat and Gobble bias canceled it because they were too busy. So I had to order from the
bastards.
one in wherever the
In
other
the
one is.
marina?
No.
Oh, I was
the
like, damn,
Castro, maybe the Mission.
that's still long. That's awesome that they
Yeah.
delivered.
That's
Good
the
for
power of
them.
Postmates, man. I'm in a nightmare. I'm in a no-win scenario right now with Postmates.
Why?
Why?
That when the credit card, or the Kind of Funny credit card, that's mine,
Are
got
you done,
hacked and
or-
put in Australia.
Yeah.
My bank said a bunch of charges, knocked them out or whatever. Great. They knocked out a Squat and Gobble charge that was real. So now I can't use the Postmates app. When Postmates finally explained, oh, it's because you're disputing this charge from Squat and Gobble. I was like, okay. Called the bank.
You're like,
I was
undisputed.
on the phone for 45 minutes with someone in a call center who didn't understand what I was trying to do. And then finally it's time to go to lunch. And I was like, all right, guys, I'm just going to go. Yeah, I don't trust you to be able to figure it. Because they wanted not only the Citibank business, but then my personal. And I was like, why the fuck do you need that? Like that has to identify who you are. Like, what are you talking about? Look at this date. I'm telling you the date. Go in there and say, no, we're not disputing that charge. Guy couldn't do it. I was like, all right, well, fuck. So now I can't use Postmates.
That sucks.
Which is huge because I use Postmates all the time.
Are we a
rough life.
Postmates or a DoorDash household?
We're
Postmates.
Postmates.
Postmates?
household.
Postmates, yeah.
Because I keep seeing DoorDash all the place, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, that logo
DoorDash
is
sucks.
cool, but it's DoorDash. Sounds cool.
Grubhub's got a cool name
solid
too.
points.
Who was the guy that fucked us in New York? Was that DoorDash or Postmates?
That might have been Uber Eats.
Oh yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Uber Eats then. Fuck
Hey,
those
your
guys.
pizza got destroyed.
Hey man,
What?
I thought it'd be a great idea to use your
Ride a
pizza
bike.
as an umbrella.
The pouring rain. Your pizza gone, but I
Oh,
do have the
thanks,
mozzarella
man.
sticks that
Thanks,
are terrible.
brother.
Is that what you want? Because you just got it.
Man, they were
Gifted
bad.
Dim complimenting your sweatshirt.
Filthycasual.com, everybody. Go get it. Feels good too. Feel it, Joey. Feel that
Oh,
quality.
it is very
That's that
soft,
quality.
But what's the inside feel like?
Awesome. Go ahead and get in there.
Ooh, it is
Nick,
real
did you see the
soft.
John Singleton news? I think he had a stroke, right? Is that what it was?
I think he passed away.
Did he
right?
pass away?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, wow.
Too Fast
That's really
and Furious
sad.
director.
Boys in the Hood director.
Yeah.
Mr. Yasmin says, Tim, did you see the leaked image of Jim Carrey from the Sonic film? I did, and I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Oh.
Get in the trailer.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Now here's my question. I forget.
Yeah.
Have we? I know we've seen the legs and shit, and then we saw Sonic. That was the real Sonic. Was that a leak or there was an official image of Sonic?
We've seen official posters that were the legs,
'Kay.
but that his face and everything, that was a leak.
Okay.
And we don't
Okay.
know. There was like the concept art, or like not concept art, the branding asset art
Okay.
books that we saw.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be perfect. So perfect.
Is it gonna be perfect?
Why
I
you
think it's
evil?
gonna.
Like you seem evil right now.
Yeah, you do seem like when
What do
you,
you mean?
when you say perfect, you mean it's going to
You
be
mean, like,
terrible.
absolute trash.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that I so far believe that Sonic the movie is going to be a fun time. where they are understanding of how horrible
I
a
think
concept this is.
Sonic the movie is going to be the Shazam to the Endgame of Detective Pikachu. Just throwing that out there.
Are they on the same
I don't
level?
think so.
I think Pikachu's going to be so good.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
Sonic's
it's
going to
the
be
Shazam to the end game.
that is
Okay.
Detective Pikachu. So Detective Pikachu in this situation would be the Endgame versus the Shazam would be Sonic. Fun movie, not as good. I think Detective Pikachu is going to be Endgame level.
I think I'm
Yeah,
there. Now I'm there.
I don't think
know.
it's gonna be. It's gonna be so much worse than Shazam.
Yeah.
Didn't boost your hype or
No,
anything?
it totally did. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I am hyped for this. It is going to be such garbage, but I feel like
it's going to be good garbage.
But I think it's
Is
good
it?
garbage. I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be Dragon Ball Z Evolution garbage. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be like they know that
upsetting.
this is horrifying.
yeah, it's like he's horrified. Like Jim Carrey is upsetting to look at, but it makes me excited to see it.
Tomorrow, baby,
Weird
trailer.
statement.
Lexi Gunner asks, is In Review going to be pre-recorded for tomorrow? Yes. We're
Right
doing that
after
right
this.
after this. So you guys are going to catch. I think here's why I'm excited about In Review today. One, obviously we're talking about Endgame, which spoilers we all glowingly loved. But two, it's podcast number 3 for all of us, I think. And so that's when it gets into zany territory.
Oh, yeah.
That's when Greg Miller
We're gonna
gets
need
into
some Red Bull.
a pocket full of fucking Red Hots, and I'm Burt Mag.
Greg's return to In Review.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited.
Podcast.
I'm
This
excited.
is going to be nuts.
Now,
I'm
people
excited.
obviously, for obvious reasons, love
Miss
me on
me.
In Review and do the,
And
doing the
they've been
plot.
saying, "Where's Greg Ben?"
But they do
Nick
miss the
Cable,
wild card that is
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I know.
They say, Nick, you're too good about it. You nail all the beats. You're just
Andy
giving us too good of
tweeted
a.
out the comment from that one kid. I saw one of these guys on Off Topic, and I subscribed to watch him, and he's not even on this. Who are these people?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? You are those people.
I thought you were going to say the kid that wished you a happy birthday and told you
I
how
don't
lucky it
talk
was
about
that
one. I don't talk about that one.
you get to work with me.
No, it's
Bring it
one of
back
those
a
things.
KFAF bit from 2 weeks ago. Respect.
Did it ever go away?
Nothing I do ever goes
No,
away.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. I was cracking up. I was showing my dad how to look at YouTube videos, right? And so I was just
And there.
Yeah.
showing the channel or
Whatever.
whatever. And the one I started was last week's Kind of Funny podcast where you're like, Denim L. Denim. And you start explaining how you're already off the rails.
God.
Yeah, no, it's done. It's
That was
too bad.
fun.
It's too bad.
Misty Yasmin says, breaking news, Lord and Miller are overseeing the Sony Marvel TV universe. Other reporter has article. Interesting.
What do they do? I forget. We liked them. I know. I know.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Okay.
21
Lego
Jump Street.
movies, 21 Jump Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Cool.
funny as fuck.
That's great.
They're also like 32 and I hate them.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Popular.
Yeah. Just
Too
very, very successful.
I'm 36 now, you know.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of high hopes for you, so it's fine. You don't have to.
Well, I
hit
didn't mean
a
it that
high
way. I
mark.
just mean I'm getting old like you.
I didn't mean it that way.
You are officially old now. I think if you're past 35.
35.
Yeah.
18 to 35 is the bracket everybody cares about, right? And then I'm outside of it now.
I
Nobody
appreciate
cares
you
about
so
me.
much, Nick, because I tweeted about porn recently, and my original tweet involved making fun of you, and I was
That's
like, you know
fair.
what? I'm not gonna.
High road.
I was like,
High road.
I'm not gonna do it, and then you did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, set
I
a
got in there.
punchline. Gotta love it.
Also, that thread de-evolved very quickly to just making fun of me for being old, and I was like, I should have seen
And
that
that's why I
coming.
was like, you know what? I'm not trying to
Should've
put
seen
that
it
negativity out there
Nah, that's fine.
in the world, but you know,
It's a good because that one caught my eye. That was a good tweet.
astute
I liked
observation.
it. Yeah, it's true.
I didn't see the tweet.
I was just like, at some point, people stopped saying pornos and started saying porn.
Sure. That's fair.
And then
That's
I
fair.
responded to that. Not all of us.
I think the main. If
I think porno is hilarious.
If I was tracing it back, right, I think it's when you stopped having an individual porno movie. It's when porn is just like the
general
open
category.
spigot, right, of just porn on the internet. You can get to anyone.
the one guy's response. I forget who it was, but shout out to this response.
The show's now just us talking about our tweets.
No, this is really good because it made me think of you. They were like, if you're still in the year 2019, if you're still masturbating to porn magazines, you're like 100%. Or it was 100% of people that still masturbate to porn magazines in 2019 are serial killers. And I almost looked at Greg on this. I was like, Greg? Question mark.
I'd be like, that's not erotic fiction. All
That's
right? I believe in high art.
That's fair.
You understand?
No, I understand.
High
The
art.
spoken word. Porn.
Exactly. No, well, not spoken. The written word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't a Penthouse Pet letter.
Spoken
all
in your
right?
mind.
Spoken
Mind's
in my
eye.
mind for sure.
Yeah.
Saw a Maxim on the newsstand shelf the other
A
day. at the
Maxim.
airport. Yeah.
That magazine's still going?
Still going.
How does that exist still in 2019? That's my
Because that
question.
Maxim is the one that when you're in your teens and into college that you can get delivered and not feel creepy about. That
Yeah.
can come to your house and you can be like, whatever, mom, it's
Yeah,
funny.
I just mean for so many reasons how are those magazines still around where it's like we're just going to put a picture of a half naked woman on a magazine and just try to sell it, whereas on the one
People
side
love
it's kind of
half-naked ladies.
ridiculous, on the other side you could also just Google those certain pictures and get
never
way
the
better
same,
pictures.
you know what I mean?
If that's what you want.
No, it's never the same. You
what
want to be
you want.
tantalized, teased.
Do you?
know what
I don't know.
You know, you still get your cinematographer magazine, right? It's
I
like that.
don't actually.
Paper.
My subscription ran out and I forgot. And then I've been going into all of my magazine stores that I normally go to try and find it in San Francisco, and they've categorically failed me. I'm like, do you guys have this? The guy's like, yeah, we still stock it, but we just haven't gotten it in a while.
You think it went out of business?
No,
Were
there's
you the final straw?
man.
maybe. I was like, they were like, we got one holdout. We're gonna stay as long as Scarpino's.
We've gone below profitability. Everybody cut it.
No, I think what's happened is, well, it's a niche magazine to begin with, but they're still online. You can go on and get an online subscription and read the magazines online, which I might actually do. 'Cause
Magazine stores. They're a thing.
I love them.
They're real.
I
In San
love
Francisco, there's a
them.
place called The Magazine Store.
Really?
And you would be surprised because when I was trying to find the Forbes,
Cannonball.
never found it. There wasn't a single store in San Francisco that carried Forbes
Not
magazine.
even the magazine store had Forbes.
Not even the magazine store had Forbes. Where I'm
Wow.
like, guys, what the fuck is wrong
That
with
seems like
you?
a top level magazine to
That's
stock.
what I'm saying. It's not some weird niche shit. So that was weird. But
It's
recently,
definitely not the American Cinematographer
I might have
magazine.
already told this story somewhere, but I went to Green Apple Books. Gia went to Green Apple Books. I went with her. She's looking for stuff. I always go to the magazine section. Sure. Duh. Just trying to see what's. I'm like, do gaming magazines still exist at all? Yeah. The answer might surprise you. Kind
Yes.
of
Yeah.
is the answer. They do, but like they're none that you know of.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's all weird shit. But I'm looking at all these, and then I hear this guy walk in. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a problem. I can
Kevin.
already tell that this guy has like a bone to pick with somebody. And he walks up to the person at the counter, just like with a magazine, or not a magazine, with a newspaper.
Here we
He's
go.
like, hey, I don't know how to handle this. I do the crossword puzzle every week. The crossword puzzle's not here. And she's like, it's all good. Totally cool. You can go grab another one. He's like, that's the problem. None of them have it.
Wow.
That's weird.
And she was
Did
like,
they not put it in the
she was like,
newspaper?
oh, I'm sorry. I can give you a refund. He goes, no, I mean, it's okay. I'm not mad. I just want to do the crossword puzzle.
Can you put up a sign to warn people?
But like that was his attitude, and I was like just listening to all this happen. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this guy really cares. But then he was like, hey, like, can I talk to one of your managers? And she was like, yeah, sure.
I
but
don't
like,
know.
what are
they
like,
gonna do?
It's like we can fix this. It's fine. Like whatever. Like you can keep it, and we'll give you the refund or whatever. And he goes, no. It's not about that. I just like I wonder if
like,
they know
we-
why.
A person of authority needs to. Who can call the New York
But
Times?
it's
You're like, I don't
why
run
would
the New York
manager-
Times.
So the manager comes and he tells the story.
How old is this guy?
My age, it seems.
Oh my god.
Here's what
Yeah.
here's what I've done. Here's my crossword puzzle for you, sir. It's a 6-letter word for fucking crazy. It's called psycho. Get the fuck out of my magazine store. That's what I would have said. Go.
Yeah?
Go.
Yeah.
But you're
Go.
a magazine store. You can't throw away customers.
I'll tell you what, dude.
You
No,
gotta
no,
keep people.
that's
you
not
gotta
true.
beg when you're like, you can have a refund. You're in your head. You're like, don't take the refund. Don't take the refund.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
that's not
oh,
true because
man.
magazine stores somehow. First off, I don't believe that they're actually making the revenue through selling magazines in San Francisco because there's no fucking way. There's one by me that is so nice that I want to live there. I walk in and I go, I want to live here. Is there a bed? Can I rent this bed? I don't think they're making that money. Secondly, the guys behind the magazine stores are always very aloof. The guys that are like selling you the magazines. Because I'm like, hey, do you have American Cinematographer? You know, we should. Blank stare.
But do you?
Okay. Like they're just too cool for school, man. Every single one. I think they have that New York magazine store mentality, like magazine stand mentality where it's like,
New York
fuck
magazine store mentality.
you. I love it.
You're so
They don't need you at all.
No, they don't need you at all.
I'll tell you what, there was nothing better back in the day than just going to a Barnes & Noble with 3 hours to kill and just sitting there in the magazine section, reading away, not
Yeah.
paying a goddamn dime.
I went into the a Books Inc.
Sure.
Because that's still kind of a thing happening in San Francisco, up in Laurel Heights over the weekend. Because Dee was doing something, so I picked her up, and she's like, "You want to go for a walk?" I was like, "Yeah." We got a cup of coffee. Walked by, and I was like, "I love bookstores. I'm gonna pop in here." And it's such a lovely like throwback to an older time. But they had this whole kids section. I was like, "Oh, how cool would it be if you brought your kid in here and your kid would love books and you could read him stories?" And Dee was like, "Kids don't care about that shit anymore. Like they want."
Did they
Yeah,
ever?
do.
They
I feel
don't.
like
Did
they
they
really
ever?
care. As always.
Yeah, story time at the bookstore was always great.
I mean, it still exists.
But
I
that-
see those in San
That
Francisco.
Books Inc. is where I got my mom Harry Potter 4.
It's a good Books Inc.
The best Harry
They got like a little
Potter.
upstairs. They got a little
Yeah.
kid
Lord's
section.
Revenge.
But I felt
No,
bad because
I'll
some
put a
lady
fire.
there was like hey, these are the books, like the hot new books that you should read. And I was looking at them because I don't read period, let alone
Here's the
actual.
hot new books you should read.
But I felt bad because I think she worked there or she frequents there a lot.
It's
And
one of
she-
the two.
But she was really into like, hey,
Books.
support the bookstore and paperback. And she was like, oh, see, I have all these books and I feel bad. I got a stack of books by my nightstand. And in an attempt to like sympathize with her, I was like, oh, my wife reads a lot too. She's got them all on her Kindle. And the woman looked at me like, I work at the bookstore. Like, you're fucking putting me out of business. And I was like, I'm going to just moonwalk away from you right now.
Probably the best.
Demetrius
mortar's
Nielsen
dead.
still like going to Barnes. Hell yeah, I still like, but it'll never be the same. Because what it was is that when I had that internship out in DC, just beyond fucking broke. And I wake up on a Saturday with nothing to do, couldn't go to the bars. My friends like, I'm just gonna go to Barnes and Noble, read comic books.
Absolutely.
What's up?
I used to do that too. My friends and I would go get like coffee in the Barnes and Noble because they'd have like the Seattle's
cafe.
Best or whatever it was. And we'd read and then we'd go outside and smoke cigarettes and then come back in and like read more magazines and stuff. They did not
We
like
would always
us.
go to like the adult sections, and it's not like adult like Playboy stuff,
Sure.
but it'd be adult like
Like the photo
Kama
with nudes.
Sutra
Oh, yeah.
type stuff where it's like teaching you things that you didn't need to know, but now you do, and about positions that
Sure,
you'll never
Gia
use.
appreciates that.
No, I don't think anyone appreciates it.
You
It's
don't
such
give her the
weird,
slithering
bizarre
snake?
shit where it's like one of my favorite things about sex is that people always act. It's like, oh man, we do everything. It's like, well, what do you do really when it comes down to it? There's not much you can
penetrate.
do. That's it.
You know
what I
sex
mean?
now? Most of the time it's I ask the question and then my wife stares blankly at me and then we continue to watch Netflix. That's what I do. That's how sex happens when you're married. Old
Wait,
guy
I missed it.
sex.
Sorry, you have sex or is there no
No,
sex?
no, God, no, that's
but it's Sunday, right?
Oh, usually
Still the
Sunday.
day, the Lord's Day?
Yeah, but this Sunday, for instance, we were like, let's watch the Lorena Bobbitt documentary
That's not
instead.
a good one. That won't get you.
That's not going to get you horny.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, have you heard of the show Bonding on Netflix?
I saw it.
I saw the preview for it.
Yeah, Jen, big fan.
Is she?
Oh yeah.
I look at it and it didn't catch me because I don't like when people do stories
BDSM?
about like BDSM, but you can tell that like the lead actress just doesn't
They
know
don't
what the
fuck.
fuck she's doing.
They don't fuck.
Like I don't know.
I haven't watched it
It's
yet.
not sexy to me. Like when someone's like, "I'm gonna whip you." Like all the scenes of whipping and stuff in Billions. I was like, this is
I haven't watched
gross.
Billions
I don't
yet,
like this. I don't like this. It's not
Nah,
sexy.
yeah, Jen was like, really wants me to watch it with her.
Billions or bonding.
Bonding. I don't know anything about Billions.
Billions is
We'll
great.
get back to that.
Billions is really
but
good.
like last night, she's like, let's do it after Game of Thrones was over. Like, let's turn it on.
And then 75
Instead,
minutes
I was
later,
like,
like,
I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
She's like, it's 9:30. I'm like, I am exhausted.
It's
Goodbye.
done. It's done.
Nick,
Yes.
I kind of want to get into this on the real show. So
Have-
how far are we?
Have
from
Hush
that?
Puppy started.
Where the
Let's
fuck
go.
Andy is?
I don't know.
Where the fuck is
how
Andy?
long
You
is
know,
it?
Joe on. It doesn't matter. Let's
Stop watching.
15 minutes.
Cool. You want to just start and then Andy can come in when he
Fucking
wants to
hate
come?
Andy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Denim L. Denim,
Denim L.
Nick
Denim.
Scarpino.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you for.
How
that's
was
it.
Chicago?
It was very good.
Chi-town.
Thank you for asking.
You had. I tracked your progress on Instagram.
Thank you. I do it like NORAD with Santa.
Yeah.
See where Greg's at. over
It
there.
looked like a really good weekend.
It was a fun
You
weekend.
got to see Endgame again, which
I
was
went and saw
great.
Endgame again.
Very cool.
And that was the power of seeing Endgame again, right? Now, stick with me. This isn't a knock or this isn't an attack, but we went and saw it. So we flew into Chicago.
But I hate all Italians.
Flew into Chicago, right? After the night before we saw Endgame with everybody. Flew into Chicago on an early flight. Drank all day with the cousins.
Hell yeah.
Hung out with dad. Then went to see Endgame at 11 o'clock.
Why
So
would you do that?
well, that's what they bought. They were all very excited to see it opening night, and that's how it all worked out. I went there, and but on this one it was great because like, cool. Here's one of my favorite scenes. All right, now I'm gonna close my eyes. Now I'm gonna wake up. Oh, cool. We're in this scene. I like this scene, but not enough. Close my eyes. Wake back up. Perfect timing. Let's go. Rest of the movie.
Yay.
Let's go.
Fantastic.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You
that I
pulled
didn't
a
like the other
Makuga.
scenes.
You pulled a Josh
No,
Makuga.
Josh Makuga at the press screening of Avengers fell asleep. There's a difference when you don't know what the fuck's
Monsters,
happening.
the
You
lot
know what I
of
mean?
them.
That's
When
great.
you don't know what the hell's happening, different story. When you're exhausted after cross-continent travel, I think you're excused.
saying
But
lots
it's
of
also
great
only
thoughts.
9 o'clock our time.
Yeah,
there's
no,
11
but
o'clock
I don't buy
screening.
that. That's the whole thing. And by the way, this is Christmas in April, Joey Noel.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Over there. Tim and all the
Sure, all the
AKAs and all that
things
jazz.
is me.
I'll give you another one day. But no, I don't buy that. For our lives, that I don't buy it. When it's, what are you talking about? It's only blank year time. I'm like, no. The trick about how we are able to do this all the time is that
Pretend the time doesn't exist.
I'm constantly exhausted.
Yeah.
You can give me a chance to sleep anywhere, and I'm like, oh great, it's bedtime. I don't give a
Smart.
shit about what time zone I'm in. That's the least of my
Pulling a
problems.
Finnegan
I feel that.
on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Falling
you know what I
asleep
mean. Like
anyway.
people, don't you get jet lag? I'm like, no, we said goodbye to that years ago. Now it's just a constant
It's just
state of
constant work
exhaustion,
and pain.
trying to keep this business afloat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
3 podcasts a day, 8 days a week.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna sleep like a
Solid.
baby on my 8 o'clock flight to LA, and I'm not even gonna worry about
Hell
what
yeah,
time
you
zone
are.
I'm in. I'm just going there.
Yeah,
I tell you
that's
what,
great.
racking those fucking miles
You
up.
may Timothy Gettys, aka
Jesus Christ.
the engaged one.
Did you what format did you watch the movie in the second time?
AMC Cantera. Oh no, Regal Cinemas Cantera. That's what they call the movie theater there, Cantera. Hadn't been
So
there
not
since I was in
IMAX.
high school. No, it was not.
No
IMAX.
Dolby.
It was
Cool.
just a normal ass theater, I think. I don't know.
Because Kevin
And
and
here-
I watched it in IMAX. totally fucking worth watching again in IMAX.
Here's what I do want to tell you.
It's
all
so
right,
good.
If I may, Tim,
You may.
and I don't do this lightly.
Oh God.
Oh no.
A tip of the hat to you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Because I'll tell you
Thank
what, after seeing it in Dolby and then going to a normal theater,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
now I
rough.
get it.
Yep.
Now I get the black and black shit. I understand what they're
It
talking
is-
about.
It's one of those things where, like, you know, I like to just disagree with Tim just for the sake of disagreeing with him. But I forget. I think it was Spider-Verse. You're like, Nick, just shut the fuck up and come see Spider-Verse with me in Dolby. I'm like, it's all the same. It's great. Even actually, and you see it rippled. Like I sat next to Andrea and John, and I was like, no, you guys are gonna love this. And it got to the part where it's like the projector's still on, and John audibly laughed. He was like, ha, all right then. Like we got Grandpa John on board.
But see, even that, like I had seen that before, and obviously I see one being not as dark one, or you know when they do the side by side, and it's still like I just don't get it. But then when I was watching, like, oh man, a lot less detail in this one. I see what's happening.
It's just a little more
exactly.
washed
The sound, I keep telling you guys, it's the sound that matters the most.
Sure.
Dolby's Atmos sound is so good. The black level stuff is nice, but the rest of it,
It's
But
it's
IMAX
the whole package.
is a different experience because the IMAX,
tall.
it's tall, but like this movie shot in IMAX, second full feature ever shot in IMAX, first being Infinity War. You get so much. Like
Oh, yeah.
Kevin leaned over to me at some point and was just like, I can't imagine the movie we watched last week. Like, what are they cutting off? This all seems so important. It's like you're getting a good
Gotta make a choice.
20% more.
Turns out the Fantastic Four are up in the rafters the entire
That
time.
was the craziest thing. I didn't expect that.
Are you guys sure? We haven't introduced you yet. Fuck off. Who's over there, Kev?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Can you see what camera system they used for that? Was it Arri? Was it the 65?
Lenses. They had lenses.
They did have lenses.
Lenses.
And you
on
guys
the
saw it
camera.
in 3D, correct?
We did see 3D IMAX.
How do you feel about 3D IMAX?
I've always been a 3D, like, I'm fine with it. It is not how I want to watch a movie the first time. I'm a purist, but then I'm like, give me all the goddamn gimmicks you
I
can.
love-
Yeah.
I would have watched it in D-Box if
that
it
the one
got
with the
better
shaky
reviews.
seats?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
They
this was
come
fun.
out in
But it got bad reviews, so I was like, no.
They got bad reviews for D-Box.
The D-Box.
That's a
did.
thing.
Like it's too much shaking?
D-Box?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they have
That's
a tampering.
awesome.
It sounds
hilarious.
It sounds dirty,
It sounds
right?
really
It's
dirty.
weird. So it's a normal
Yo,
theater.
how far did you get last night? D-Box.
D-Box.
It's
I
a
got it.
normal
D-Box.
theater, normal auditorium, but like 6 of the seats in one of the rows are like crazy ass roller coaster seats.
Sure, yeah. No, I want that. I'm good.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's
I think
super
I'm okay
fun.
with just
Yeah.
IMAX.
You click on
Yeah,
that one.
we saw Last
Required a
Jedi
custom 6K
with it.
camera. I wonder that there. You guys can keep talking. I'm just gonna.
No, that's fine. We can all just
Oh, it
stare
is
at
the
screen.
area. It's the Area 65. I believe.
Now, that's
Or
what we
the-
shoot on, right?
oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
no. Yeah, we
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
on $120,000 cameras.
This is the same camera that they shot Game of Thrones with, but
It's the same camera system, not the same camera.
But-
Probably.
yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
But pregnant butt there.
Oof.
What's your butt there? You were
Oh,
unhappy last night with that?
HBO streaming, man.
Yeah,
They're
right.
fucking-
That compression, man. That was rough last night. That was rough.
Garbage.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
A lot of bad
but not
gradients.
garbage is IMAX or Avengers in IMAX. Totally worth watching again if you have the means.
I definitely want to see it again.
And if
for
you do,
sure,
I recommend
because
IMAX.
I think I'm going to. I really enjoyed it the first time around. Obviously, we'll talk about it in an hour, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. But I think I have this weird thing where if it's a movie I really, really care about, I'm hyper sensitive to anything that's happening around me. And as you know, we had a gentleman come in and steal a seat next to us because the guy next to that seat was too much of a fucking coward to just tell the guy he was saving the seat for his wife and lie to him. So this random guy that walked into the theater was like, "Hey, is that seat taken?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I bought the seat." The guy's like, "So can I sit there?" And the other dude's like, "I guess." I'm like, "No."
Where
you
was
say-
his wife?
No, like the person that was he was supposed to lie. He bought the seat, but the person didn't come. And so instead of saying
That was all. That's all I was looking for.
yeah,
The
instead of
person didn't
saying,
come. Okay.
I'm just like, quick, think on your fucking feet, buddy. No, my wife's still coming. She's coming. You got to go away. Then
Also,
the guy,
who's this guy that's walking into
Yeah,
a
who's
reserved
walking
seat
into that?
theater to
it's
just...
the guy
Other than
who
a
had a plastic container of food, could not find his fork the entire time, and then proceeded to cough every, I would say maybe 3 minutes, just like clockwork. Ruffle, 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 to the point where John Drake looked over at me and was like, "Are you gonna kill this guy or do I have to?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to enjoy this fucking
God,
movie."
you should have let me. Why didn't you tell me? I would have walked over.
You guys were,
Excuse me, sir.
you guys were enjoying the movie.
Can I help you find the concession stand?
But now that I've like enjoyed been through the first screening of it and I can relax a little bit, I really want to see it in theaters again because I feel like it's the same thing that happened with Skyfall. When I went and saw Skyfall, I was looking so forward to it, and then the family next to me was like having a fucking conniption fit the entire time. They were having like a feud, and I was like, "Oh, this is ruining this movie for me."
That happens with everybody, though, right? There's things you can and can't turn off, right? You know the Doctor Strange story well. That guy in front of us tweeting during Doctor Strange, I can't let that slide. I have to go. But during previews, we're watching previews for Endgame or before Endgame, and we're sitting there just chilling out, having a great time. And Jen just leans over to me and goes, "What is this guy doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I looked to my left, and there was a dude with a clipboard. Like we're on the far side. We're not even by the front door.
Yeah.
A dude with a clipboard at the end of our row, standing against the wall,
I think that was the guy.
like making notes. Really?
Oh, I don't
With
know.
A clipboard?
Maybe not.
He had a clipboard and a box of food.
You know,
maybe the guy worked
that's
there.
the problem is that he looked like he was doing something official,
Yeah.
but he did not have any official apparel on.
But he had a
So it's
clipboard.
like, are you a weirdo with a clipboard, or do you have something to do?
Would that bother you more than just being a weirdo?
If I could glance at the guy and be like, "Oh, you work here," then I'd turn back to
if,
Jen and be like,
if he had an official thing on it,
"Dude
I'd be
works
like,
here. Don't know.
He's just
doing
taking
something." But when I look over and it's this guy, it looks like he could either be going fishing in a second or he's over there just taking down notes on the ads. I'm like, I don't know. And so then I'm like back to watch the previews, and Jen's like, "But what do you think he's doing?" I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "Come on, is he gonna be there?" I'm like, I finally like, is this gonna ruin your experience? Because I'll go right now. I'll go be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Can I help you?"
Yeah.
Get the story, sit back down. And by the time the previews ended, he walked to the other side of the auditorium and then leaned up against that wall and started taking notes. And I was like, I think he might be official, but either way, not on my side of the auditorium. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then I got to see Andy Cortez try to leave through the emergency exit.
That was my
and then John
favorite
Drake,
game.
And it was just like literally one by one watching people try. I'm like, oh god.
There were 4
It's like,
people.
you
throughout
all
the
walked
movie.
into this place. How do you not understand where the door you
There's
came in through is?
Yeah, there's no exit.
They're like,
Great.
oh, maybe we can sneak out. No,
Yeah,
that's not
I
how
felt
doors
like
work.
obviously the first hour of Endgame is very, very quiet and like slow and a lot of emotions and a lot of like poignant scenes. And
lot of talking.
man, they are not punctuated well when someone's like, "Can't find my fork." I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
You should have done something. You should have stood up. Don't even go my way. I'll never forget when we went and saw Rambo as IGN, when IGN used to have movie days where hey,
Great
some
movie.
movies coming out, we're gonna go see
Great
it.
movie.
The movie. We're sitting in. I'm like 2 rows back. We're sitting there,
Great
and
movie.
just as like whatever starts, the Rambo part of it starts. A dude takes out a Subway sandwich and starts unrolling it. And Andy Eddie, without missing, he just turns and goes, "Dude, really?" And the guy's like, "Put it back away."
Put it back,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Fuck that. I would have keep eating.
Of course
I
you would,
hate
and you would
that
have been
shit,
thrown
man.
the fuck out.
I don't know. And again,
You don't respect theaters.
Better men
Dude,
have tried.
to me, it's all about respect. Bring food in, whatever the hell.
Right.
They're overcharging you. That's all
Yeah.
stupid. But respect the people around you
Yeah.
with your noise levels. Like,
Yes.
understand what you do. Cool, Greg, the king of politeness.
That's right. That's what we call him.
That's no sarcasm. He snuck in some Lunchables.
As one does. As one does.
But he opens it at like there's the right moment where it's like there's noise. He goes whoosh, to get the
Yep.
quick,
Yeah.
rip off the Band-Aid, and then he makes sure he's
Sure.
only crunching
But
the
like, dude, I felt
appropriate
bad
times.
even in again. We're not spoiling any of the Avenger stuff, but like we're talking about, it's a quiet first bunch of that movie, and me like shaking the popcorn to get a better handful.
Yeah.
I was waiting for there's
You
a
gotta
moment,
wait.
you know what I mean?
You
I
gotta
can't
wait.
just
Fucking
go,
wait.
and to the and this guy next to me, I'm like, I know you're hungry. I get it. But you understand there's a 3-hour long movie, and at some point, someone's gonna fight. And there's gonna be like explosions and stuff. That's when you fucking
when
look
you
for your
crunch.
fork, bro. Like that's when you look for your fork. Not during the poignant scene where like
Fantastic Four shows up.
where Fantastic Four is in the rafters. Like, do you guys need us yet? And everyone's like, absolutely not. We don't need you.
Get out of here, Miles
Like
Teller.
we're probably gonna die, but at least we're dying fucking standing up. No, I don't know. Either way, I can't tell if it's because I'm just more sensitive to it now, or if because I'm a little older and like I've been to so many movies, or if it's just people's etiquette is just still shitty. Because I don't ever remember, like when I was a kid.
You probably when you were a kid, you were probably the
I was
guy
probably
making
the
the
loud.
noise.
Yeah, exactly, right. And
Poe
now I'm
always
just a
tells the
little bit
story
more-
when I snuck Portillo's into a movie theater, and I waited, and like it wasn't a noise thing, but I pulled it out and opened it, and like Portillo's hot dog, ketchup,
Stinky.
mustard, pickle only,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that pickle. Poe's like, you just punched everyone in the face with a pickle smell in his way. It's
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
true.
Bold.
That happened. Yeah,
Bold.
you did. I know.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like the smell factor is an issue, but it's like that's also sold by the theater. Like Portillo's has a smell, but
Sure.
everything that they fucking have has a smell.
Sure.
And it's just, I feel like there should be more care put into what is and is not served at theaters.
Well, I mean, you got popcorn. That's like the loudest thing
What would
possible.
you? What would you take off the menu right now? To your average
I guess I
movie
would take
theater?
off most things.
Yeah.
but that's just not eating during the movie. Not my favorite thing.
Sure.
I
Based
feel
on
like hot
smell or
dogs are
sound.
fine.
Hot dogs are fine.
Hot dogs
Popcorn
are cool,
are fine.
but I feel like hot dogs should figure out a better way to be wrapped because even that paper is a little crinkly.
Well, that's the thing about now
Well,
at the
they don't do
AMC. They have the little cardboard things.
Cardboard
You open them
box.
up. No more wrapping on them.
Which then I was so aware of the other guy making noise, but I was like, I really want my hot dog. And I was like, I gotta wait for a loud moment to open this hot dog. But I was like, how loud could it possibly be? It's a fucking box. You just squeeze the box and open it up. So I started squeezing the box and open it up.
And it goes,
then
here.
No, it literally, it like wouldn't open, and it started getting really loud.
And the guy looks over at you like, geez, sir.
I started getting nervous, and then I started fumbling with it. And it's one of those things where, like, you know, when you're embarrassed
Giant
and you start
anime
pushing the
sweatshop.
door, even though it's pull.
Yeah,
I realized about, I don't know, a good minute into trying to open this fucking box that I had it backward. And I flipped it around and just opened it and like threw it. I was like, sorry, I'm sorry.
Dude, this is jumping all over, but that is a perfect segue. In the pre-show, I was saying that there's something I needed to talk to you about, and you just brought it up again for me in a beautiful way.
AKA second best baby blues in San Francisco.
Exactly. Netflix has a new sketch comedy show produced by The Lonely Island.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Called like You Need to Leave or something. Hold on, let me get what it actually is.
He's in Kev.
I think you should leave. I think you should leave.
Okay.
With Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson, someone I am not familiar with.
He was in Shawshank Redemption.
Yes. I now
Tim
am familiar.
Robinson.
He is the most Nick comedy I've ever seen in a show.
Now,
it is
I might not like this because I don't like people that do me better than me.
Dude, I don't know,
Sorry,
man.
Carboni.
I think it's one of those things. There's 6 episodes. They're all like 18 to 20 minutes.
I'll watch
and
it.
I watched me and G watched the entire thing in one sitting.
Isn't it funny?
And it's like every single sketch made us laugh at least once.
Good.
Not throughout the entire thing.
Well, that's screen cap alone right there. man.
Okay, so the premise of this, I'm not going to
Will
spoil too
Forte
much.
yelling at Gronkowski.
But the premise of that, pull it up, Kev, to show people. The premise of this sketch is that the guy on the right was a baby on a plane with the guy on the left years ago and cried the whole time so he couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So he's been hunting him his entire life.
Oh my
Just scream so he can't sleep.
Brilliant.
Fucking hilarious.
That's so
But
funny.
The I think it's one of like the
That's
first sketch they have in the show is he's at a job interview and he's like talking to the guy. They're at this like cafe and he's like he's very nervous, you could tell. And the guy's like, "You're doing good. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Cool. Like, thanks, man. Like, let me know if you need me. Anything you need, I got you." And he stands up and starts walking away. And he it's a push door situation. And he pulls it. And the guy goes, like, it's awkward. Everyone kind of looks at him. And then the job interviewer was like, "Oh, no, you're supposed to push." And the guy goes, "I was here yesterday. You could do both." And the interviewer was like, I don't think you can. And it cuts back. And he just grabs the door and just pulls as hard as he can. And it just keeps cutting back and forth. And he just doesn't want to look awkward. So he's just like opening it and it busts off the hinges slowly. It's so you comedy, dude.
I love it. I mean, you sold me.
You should check it out.
You sold me on this.
It is
What
very
show?
funny. Oh, man.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave with Tim Robinson.
That's a good name.
6
From
episodes
Shawshank
of sketch comedy, ton of random like guest stars and stuff like that are only in one little bit for no reason.
Oh, fucking A,
That's awesome.
perfect.
I really think that a lot of people, if you like us, you should watch this.
Perfect.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week for sometimes Andy, best friends gather around this table. Andy, what are you doing? If you like that, of course, be part of the show, patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode free. Nope, exclusive early. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then if you don't want to pay any bucks our way, you don't want to support the show, or you can't, no big deal. You can get the show on youtube.com/kindafunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe each and every Friday. I got housekeeping for you, Tim. You ready?
Yeah, dude.
Cooking with Greggy is back. Because of your support over on Patreon, you can go to youtube.com/kindafunny or patreon.com/kindafunny. Watch the new season. The new show premieres each and every Monday on patreon.com/kindafunny. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. It goes up on youtube.com/kindafunny and Rooster Teeth the following Tuesday. The Vancouver meet and greet is this Saturday.
Woo.
So depending on when you listen to our show, heads up, May 4th, we're going to Vancouver, or we were just in Vancouver. Kindafunny.com/events has all the information. Thank you to our Patreon producers, DJ Kento, James Davis, Kieran O'Donnell, Sam Davis, and Mike McLaughlin. Today we're brought to you by Hims and Upstart, but I will tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with who is and who will always be Joshua. Joshua wrote into patreon.com/kindafunny and said, "Nick, just got a job at UC Riverside as director of content for athletics. What are some bomb places to eat in Riverside?"
Oh, shiznit. I mean, my favorites are you got to get Baker's. Baker's is
Baker's.
thebomb.com.
What is Baker's? Is this the
Baker's-
pie
Fast
place?
food.
No? Okay. Nope.
No,
It's
Baker's
Square.
is
And it's great. Baker Square is awesome.
Baker's like a Del Taco. I don't know why they call it Baker's. They don't have any baked goods there whatsoever.
But it's about tacos?
It's taco. It's
They have burgers and-
burritos, tacos, and burgers. And the burgers are pretty good. So when you go,
Their
you get
bean
like
and cheese burritos are so good.
their combination burrito is the fucking best thing ever. And they were
Get the
the
green
first people
sauce.
that I remember to offer a half pound of fries.
Holy
it was
shit.
so much fries that you're like, no, I don't need this much fries, but you eat the whole thing anyway.
No.
And then I'll also give a shout out to Alberto's, which I love very,
good.
very much. There's an Alberto's right down
It's
the
a
street
deja
from.
vu moment. I swear.
We
to God,
talked about this.
We just
We
talked
did.
about
I
this.
think you had this on something. Whose
a
question
show?
was this?
Joshua.
No, but what other show was this? Because I think we read this question on a different show.
I don't know, but you definitely
Was
just
this
talked about
KFAF?
Baker's, then we talked about Alberto's, and it was the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Del Taco also.
Well, watch
There's
all
Del
our
Taco,
content,
everyone.
jerks.
You should
on.
also go to Augie's, even though that's technically in Redlands. It's a really cool coffee shop.
I'm also gonna give a shout out to Shakey's Pizza.
I don't think I've ever
Shakey's
been there.
I've
Pizza.
never been to a Shakey's, and I wouldn't have known it existed if it wasn't for South Park.
They got the Mojo potatoes.
What does that mean?
Mojo potatoes.
I need more information than Mojo potatoes.
Kevin, Google Mojo potato, please.
On it, boss man.
Cool Greg, have you
This is
ever
gonna
eaten
be
at
a
a
fun
Shakey's?
show.
No, yeah, Cool Greg hasn't, so it can't be
Shakey's
cool.
very much like a round table pizza, only slightly more. Like it's the place where people would go after every band
Sure,
thing,
sure.
football game, things like that's where you'd go. You go to Shakey's. That's the Mojo potato right there. Yeah,
That
that's
looks
right there.
awesome.
That is a Mojo potato.
So what is it? It's just a potato cut.
No, it's like a cut. You slice like you see it there, and
Yeah,
then
into-
battered
into circles.
little battered and fried.
The
Nice.
seasoning looks dope.
I like
And
that.
it's,
What's going on? I wanna
they're
eat
just
it.
It
real
kind of
good.
looks like it has like a KFC wedges
Yep.
situation.
Yep.
going on.
That's
Yep,
exactly
yep,
what it is, except instead of it's less potato though, so you don't get when you ever have the wedge, the outside's always good, but then you get it's so much
So soft,
dense
it's-
and
yeah.
thickness on the
Fluffy
inside.
in the inside, though.
But I don't want that.
The
I want it to be
Mojos
fried
are
and crispy.
generally
I want it
only a
fluffy.
little fluffy, like right at the middle. The rest of it's like crisp and good, and you just dip it in ketchup and put it in your mouth. It's great.
Went back in the burbs of Chicago. There went to Dino's for breakfast, and Mom was like, "Hey, we're here. Great breakfast spot. You're gonna enjoy it. You never been there. Blah blah blah." But she's like, "The real reason I like it is that they do cottage fries." Where they slice the potato thin like that and then fry it like that. No batter or anything, but like do that.
Oh, I
And-
like that, like a scalloped
And
sort
that
of?
was like super crispy though, so not the scallop texture, which I hate.
Right.
Because that's my problem, of course, is that I always want to like hash browns. And once in a while, you run into a really good hash brown. Most of the time, what you get is a pile of potatoes that are brown on one side, brown on the other side, and 3 inches deep and just raw. Like, why would I eat this?
fantastic.
It's
I love
terrible.
them.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Smother it
gross.
in ketchup.
No, you do ketchup and A1 steak sauce on top of them. They're fucking bomb.com.
God, I'm hard.
Well, no, when
Yeah.
I need to, it's got to be ketchup and it's got to be Tabasco or Cholula or whatever. I need a hot
yeah.
sauce on
Yeah,
there. Mix it
my-
up
Not
that
a
way.
Cholula fan.
Back in the day, my brother
Really?
Matt used to
Tabasco
just
guy.
we'd get hash browns and he would just put nothing but A1 sauce on it, and it's so fucking good. It's like tangy.
Yeah,
oh,
A1
like hits the
steak's
back of
good.
your teeth, like the top of your teeth.
Sure. Yeah.
not
yeah.
the bottom. The top, like
No,
right
the
at the
top
gum
right
level.
there. Yeah, it's getting in that roof of your mouth, but not a burn. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Wakes you up.
But I was telling you, that's what it's about. Because hash browns can be great. I'm not saying they can't be. I just find most of the time they're undercooked and gross.
Oh, I get you.
I get you, but I feel like hash browns are one of those things where they're just always good in any form that they're
No,
in.
there's plenty of times where I get them and
There's
I'm like,
some that are
oh,
better.
this is what it is. And I like to have 2 bites. I'm like, I don't even want this.
Just
Joey
the
and I had,
McDonald's hash browns.
McDonald's.
That's on a different
Those are-
nobody's
those are different.
nobody's
It's
crazy
all
enough to talk
next
shit. That's
level.
that's
Yeah.
perfect because that's the perfect amount of crispy fried and then soft fluffy
Yeah,
potato
but that's
inside.
because they're fried. Most hash browns are you put them on a grill.
Sure.
You flip them over and they're done. The McDonald's ones, they just fucking put in the fryer with the rest of the thing.
And that's why, hey,
they
man.
submerge them 100% in
Cottage
shitty
fries,
oil.
I just complimented. They're fried too as well.
Joey and I had really good hash browns and corned beef hash in New York.
We did.
And that'll maybe make it into the New York vlog once it's done being edited.
Maybe?
I gave you all the footage.
It won't.
Oh, Cool Greg
Okay.
says no, it doesn't make the cut.
Yeah,
Never
good
mind.
job, cool Greg. Thank you. You rule with an iron fist, but
not
you're
up
fair.
to the vlog standards.
That's what it's got to be. Somebody's got to have standards around here, and it's cool.
No, I'm
Greg.
cutting my own vlog. I'm going to do a vlog within a vlog called Nick's World.
Are you going to include all
Guarantee you
the
don't
really
have to do
dark
that.
dance floor
Nick's
footage?
Maybe I'll do something with Nick at night or something like that, or it'll just be me
Remember
at
when
night.
you used to do that on Instagram?
I really liked it a
What
lot.
a fun thing.
You know, I thought about doing more stories because I keep seeing that they're still a thing.
Yeah, they're bigger than ever.
But
Someone
then I go, it took a lot of effort to do that show.
sure, which
You
is
know, a lot of
surprising because
effort.
you just talked into your phone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was
while you
and
easy.
you're going
It
out
was really
tonight.
easy.
This would be like a pretty great night to.
Maybe I'll do the
Where you
return
going
of Nick
tonight?
and I. I got a show at Delirium Bar in the Mission. If anyone wants to come out, 8 p.m. 16th, I want to say 16th in Valencia ish.
Sounds right.
Something like that. It's by the Roxy
Check it
Theater.
out.
Anyway, Google Delirium Bar. It's going to be a shit show. And this show is always one of those that either the audience isn't paying attention or they're paying attention so much that they want to fight the comedians. So it's going to be fun.
You always say this, but like in my experience, that hasn't been true. Is there like a specific time?
You got a good night last
Okay.
time you were there. Because the last time, the time after that I hosted, because
I've been there
I literally had to
3
bounce.
times now.
I had to almost pull someone off, a female comedian, because she had said something. She was talking shit, and the guy was like, "I'm not having some woman step to me," and I was
Jesus.
like, "Bro,
Hey, Joe.
you better watch out." But then it ended up that he was screaming, and everyone's like, "Oh God, this guy's gonna assault this woman, and we have to kill him." And
have
like,
to kill him.
This is gonna. I mean, like, me and
comedy's
all
crazy
the other
these
comics, and we're like, we gotta fucking kill this guy. And he walked right up. He walked right up to this female comedian and was like, "You know
Wait,
what?
hold on, sorry. Walked right up while she was on stage or off stage? Jesus.
And I was like, I had to get up because as the host, I'm like,
Take your
this
shoe
bar
off.
has absolutely no. I was like, this 2 things. One, the bar had absolutely no security, which I was like, what the fuck? This is a dive bar, and why isn't the bartender doing anything? And B, the guy was smaller than me, so I was like, all right, that's
you
fine.
got this
I
guy?
mean, I got this guy.
Did not expect that.
Oh yeah, no, he was like a little taller but really skinny. I was like, I'm not fucking take this guy down. But he walked right up to her and was like, "You know what? Totally agree with you. This girl's got what's going on." I was like, "Oh,
Sit the fuck down.
I'm like, bro, we're good. She doesn't need you to be a part of the show." He's like, "No, they're all talking back there, and I just want you guys to know back there. Shut up. People are making art. This is not easy." And she was
one of
like,
those
"You're
guys.
You know what?
actually more disruptive than everyone else back there." Sir, go sit down. We're like, "Dude, you got to go." So he's like, "All right, I just want you guys to know I'm fucking with you." And we're like, "No, I think we got that from you screaming it
We're
into the
not
mic.
with you, sir.
Give her the mic back. You go fuck off." Okay, cool. Yeah, it's bad. But that's what you always
see you
get with
tonight.
these. Oh yeah, 8 p.m. But that's what you always get with these shows is that you're fighting for audience, and then there's no actual like.
Fighting for your life, also.
Well, there's just
Hispanic
no
Heartthrob, any protest,
organization anywhere, and there's no security. And so like that's why it's lovely to do a show in like a real club every once in a while because you're like, oh, this whole place is set up for this.
What I have never talked to you about it. What is the worst heckler thing you've seen? Like, when you think about like it going wrong.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've seen at Delirium multiple times. I've seen people almost get into fights.
Yeah.
Like
On
someone
stage.
walks in and people are drunk. I mean, you're talking about people who are drinking at a dive bar on a Monday night, so they're
Yeah.
serious about their alcoholism. And you'll say something like, there was one comic, I think it was a guy, who was, the way Delirium is set up is the stage is a little elevated like booth right by the door. So when people come in, of course, your natural
Yep.
inclination is they're the only ones paying attention. Let's fuck with them. And this one dude started ripping into these tourists, and they were not having it. And the guy's like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, just like step to him. And I'm like, "Oh God, this guy's bigger than me."
I
was like,
can't take this.
"Ah, like I
My
said,
fucking
this."
fight fantasies
There have
are
been
gonna be
multiple
played
times
out.
where like, and comics are.
Why does the host have to be responsible
That's just the way it
fighting
goes.
people
Because
out?
if the host is responsible, literally no one will be. I have been now to, I would say, probably at least 25 of these comedy shows, and I use that very lightly.
Yeah,
Because
you've
it's
been a
like,
lot.
there's Cobbs and stuff. It's like, cool, these are comedy shows. But then there's a host, there's people
There's a
in
mic.
between them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of,
maybe
there's a
someone
mic.
told the patrons there'd be comedy.
But
Maybe
that's the
they
thing is like there's a mic sometimes. Sometimes there's not. And it's just
it's
like
bad.
it just seems so
That-
poorly organized that like I'm surprised more fights don't happen just because people's egos get in the way of like when they go up or whatever the
Well,
fuck's
you
going
also
on.
have to think this, right? Like, it's not necessarily well promoted or well communicated to the people in the bar that there's comedy going to be happening. So imagine all of us not knowing there's a comedy show. We go to tie one on a Monday night,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden some asshole with a mic starts talking shit about us. And like, we're not a violent group of people, but that would still. I'd be like, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna give it back to you. I didn't agree to be a part of this free comedy show.
A couple
I didn't know what was
weeks ago,
happening.
when I went down to do WWE thing, something in LA, one of these LA day trips I went down and did. Scott Lowe and I were like, when I went down to do the Skybound thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, hey, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's get together. He's like, all right, cool. There's a bar like, 10 minutes from here. I'm like, great. And we went over there and I walked in first and it was trivia. And it's that thing of like, fuck, I was hoping I could catch up and not be yelling over somebody all night long, right?
And
And
I
he got
get
there
it.
and he's like, fuck. And I totally get it as the bar. Like, we need to get people in here on a normal night. You can't hope Greg Miller and Scott Lowe come in there throwing their books around. You know what I mean?
And normally it's fine, but then there are instances where I'm like, look, when it's a comedy show happening, the whole venue has to commit.
yeah.
Like, I need the mic to be way louder than it needs to be so that people will shut the fuck up and hear the words. If they can't hear the words, they won't get into the show. If they don't get into the show, it's going to be a nuisance in the background
worse
the
and
entire
worse and
time.
worse.
And then it's just going to get worse. And so the time that you went when I was hosting, it was fine. The time after, the bartender refused to turn the mic up to an audible level in the back. So
Yeah.
of course everyone in the back started talking and screaming, and then it became a back versus front thing. And then there was 5 or 6 patrons that had come to actually support one of the other comics that were trying to enjoy the show, but they couldn't even hear the comic that was a foot in front of them because the asshole bartender was like, "No, I don't really like comedy." So but I'm like, yeah, but your manager or the owner agreed to do this, so we all need to be on the same page. There's a disconnect here, and you're the problem.
You have a verbal contract, sir. Turn up the microphone.
Well, it's either all in or all out.
I hear you.
There's no such thing as, hey, there's going to be stand-up comedy, and then, but also feel free to play pool in the back, and we're going to play music. It's not going to happen.
Who all was there? But that RTX, we went to that Gordo's bar we like so much. It was Donuts and Bar, and we walked in, and it was like they were doing like a drag show. And we were like, all right, we'll try to hang. And then they came up and started fucking with us. We're like, we're not in the mood for this.
Go.
We're like hungover or tired or whatever it was. Or we were just getting the headspace of an RTX. I was like, we got to go.
God, the food was so good.
The food, I mean, Gordo's is amazing. You kidding me?
Gordo's is that's the donut place, right? That has the donut like.
Yeah. You want a salad? Here's a donut in it.
They're so good.
What's the other place that we went to recently where you were also hosting the
Tim
show?
Hortons.
That was La Rocca's.
La Rocca's, yeah, which is on the same block as Cobb's. And it's this little bar that actually has like a good amount of room, like space for people to be in.
Get usually a good crowd there.
Don't remember what night it was, but like it wasn't like a
Wednesday
Friday
night.
It was like a Wednesday.
Yeah, they do shows
and we
there
go.
Wednesdays.
There was this show Nick was supposed to be hosting. No one was there on
I
time.
was not supposed to be hosting.
Oh, you're right.
I was supposed to just be there.
Yeah.
And the show was supposed to start at 8, and 8:15 rolls around, and it's me and one other comic.
And the guy goes, are you going to host this? And Nick's like, I guess, sure.
But then I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll host. I love hosting. I like getting that experience. So I reached out to the organizer and I was like, hey, who's supposed to host? And the person that was supposed to host had to drop out last second. And so he was like, when do you guys host? I'm like, sure. That's first question. Second question, where are the other comedians? Because there's only 3 of us here and it's supposed to be an hour and a half long show. And I'm pretty good, but I cannot do 40 minutes of material.
Especially to 4 people.
Yeah, to the 4 people who
the people who are about
3
to go
of them
on.
are my friends.
Yeah. It was me, Gina, Rochelle there, like to support you and hang out, but also like we understand what we're getting into.
Sure.
But then there's like maybe 5 other people in the bar total, and then the bartender who like owns the bar. It felt like, I don't know. She seems like she's never left that place.
Yeah.
Shout the fuck out to her because she's like, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing this. I don't know if there's 100 people here or 3 people. This is a comedy show now, and we're turning the mic all over.
Everything down.
She committed, and I was like, I really appreciate this for as awkward as it is for every human being involved.
But I mean, but you know, it's such an uphill battle sometimes with these venues because she was great and was like, here's the mic. And by the way, it sometimes just doesn't work. And so there's nothing more fun than right when you get to your first punchline and the mic cuts out.
Oh,
and you're like, am I holding this thing wrong? And you have to hold the mic like you're British drinking tea.
Sure.
Just like, governor. And then the mic maybe does work or not.
Starts
and
crackling.
then at that particular venue, the host, the organizer was like, hey, make sure you turn the light on, but it's a backlight. And I'm like, backlights don't help illuminate people. They hurt your eyes when you're staring at you know what I mean? Like I'm staring, the audience is staring into a light at that point. Like they can't see me. I'm in shadows because there's a bright light behind me. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not going to turn that light
Turn on the
It's
backlight
dumb.
and then throw all the gasoline on the crowd. Like, why would I want to do any of this?
Dude, this is the same show where eventually a Cobb show let out. So like,
well, that was the problem.
There was a Cobb show on the same block that was happening, so everyone was there. But it got worse because then I forgot who it was. It wasn't you, but it was the other guy that like should have been hosting or whatever. Walks out and essentially is just like, guys, come on in. There's more comedy. It's free. Just please somebody come, please. And then we eventually get a room full of
Get a
people.
good room full of people.
It was after like everyone had already done their set.
I was going to say, they have to do the sets again?
But then, like, people are like starting to go up that either had not done comedy before or are
Some out-of-towners were there.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very rough. And this one woman went up, and she was fine. Whatever, she's doing her thing. But there was this fucking heckler guy that was drunk as shit.
Drunk old guy,
Santa
yeah.
Claus looking dude, right? And
Because he's old?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
old and fat.
but like looked
beard.
like Santa,
Maybe
Santa
60s,
Claus. Biker
gray
Santa
hair.
Claus.
Balls around him.
really like he's been drinking like as
parkas, yeah.
drinking has been a career for
Okay.
him since he
Yes.
was in his early 20s. Sure.
Every line that she says, he says whatever the worst possible thing you could say.
It was
in
very
response.
much like here's what his thought process was. I'm going to talk and I'm going to be so charming right now that this girl on stage is going to want to fuck me.
Yep.
And what
Damn,
that was
did
his
it work?
That was his thought process. No, because
how I got
from the
Jen.
brain to the mouth, it came out I got
Jen.
And even his friend,
You're hot, though.
his friend who was drunk That's what
what it
his
was.
other friend, older guy as well, who was drunk.
Who did he look like? Kevin Nash.
I don't know who he looked like actually.
Jack Frost.
Kevin Nash is good.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus and
Literally
Jack
just was
Frost.
like, he just kept doing this.
Nick,
and then
slow
finally
down.
I was like, I was trying to be cool. And then as the host, of course, as the only person there who
Step up.
runs any sort of security, I finally just turned to him and went like this. Like,
Yeah,
like put my
if
hand
you're
on
an
him, like, you
audio
gotta
listener,
stop.
Nick's giving me some pressure on my bicep.
Like you got, hey buddy, like let's
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
here, okay? Like,
so what, hold on. So
shut
are you
up.
next to him or are you walking around?
Well, I'm next to him because this
Okay.
bar is not very big.
Gotcha.
That was problem number 3 of the show. Problem number 4 was the organizer was like, hey, by the way, I booked 10 comics for this, and the show was supposed to start at 8. I didn't start till 8:30 because no one was there. And finally, I was like, we're just gonna start the show, and if it's a fucking 30-minute long show, I don't care. And then literally one by one, after the last comic would go up, another one would come in. So I was like, cool, you're next. And like, how much time do I? And then one kid came in and was like, how much time do I have? I'm like, he's got 1 minute left. I just gave him the light. You're up next. The guy's like, cool, I forgot something at Cobb, so I'll be right back. And runs the fuck out. And I'm like,
That
fuck you
kid,
guys.
Carrot Top came back with all his props
Yeah,
and
I
shit.
know.
It's,
Holding pins.
Who would've
it's
thought?
just because I think a lot of it is A, it's hard to organize these shows week after week, but then B, once a lot of the organizers organize the local shows, they get a taste for it, and then they do shows every night, and so they can't pay attention to all these things. Like the guy that does the show at La Rocca's also does a Tuesday show, I want to say in Cow Hollow, and then also does he does a cable car show, which is really fun. And so he does great shows, but I think it's a little hard for him every once in a while when people drop out to be like, fuck, I got to plug these in.
This
It's stressful.
This specific night, for some reason, is always just going to be in my mind because there was so many things that went wrong, or just so many like cringeworthy moments where it's just like, this is what comedy is.
And it sucked because it shook me as a person who I go into immediately producer mode where I'm like, I got to control the situation. I have to make sure this thing goes. And that's the opposite thing you should do as a comic because it uses the wrong part of your brain. You have to go into that chaotic part of your brain when you're doing stand up of anything can happen, roll with the punches. And so when I went up, I bombed miserably because I was like,
You were still trying to like run the show.
I'm still trying to figure out why the fucking mic's not working. And I sent someone to get batteries and all this shit. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I should have absolutely said no. I'm just going to go up, do my time and get the fuck out.
So we're sitting there, and at this point, it was early on, so there were very few people, and it was essentially in the front table, me, Gia, Rochelle, and like 2 other comics that had walked in that Nick kind of knows.
Jim Brewer, one of them.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the
that was
Ghost
nice. That was
And then
nice.
someone else named Dave Chappelle was there.
But they start going, and then every single stand-up targets us because we're the only targets there.
Only people
So
paying
then we need
attention.
to deal with like people being like, "Oh, what's up, tech bro? Hey, you must be a tech guy in San Francisco." And I'm just like,
You're like, listen, I was born and raised here.
But it just-
I'm also kind of a tech bro. But
but it's just like, it's like, cool, I'll play along, I'll go along with this. But
My app.
that's fine because like I'm playing a part for this. I don't care.
How dare you?
People that aren't playing a part in this though are these 2 gay dudes that come in
They were.
and they sit at the bar, and we had
hold
all
on.
known.
Sorry, they're sitting at the bar like backs to the show. Are they trying to be
No,
part of
they're-
the
no,
okay.
they're-
I didn't
they-
know if it was literally like,
They
hey,
actually-
hey, sir. The guy turns around like,
No,
I got a joke about you.
they came in for the show.
show. Okay, okay.
And
Yeah.
we had known that because we were the only 10 people in the place.
Sure.
And so Nick, very early on as the host, like talked to everyone in the room.
Trying to warm it up.
And at some point it was like, what's your story? What's up? And they're like, oh, this is actually our first date. Like we're going to this comedy thing. We know it's going to be weird, but like whatever. We're having a good day. Like cool, fine. And we knew that. Proceed the next 10
Oh, the
or
same-
maybe the next hour. Every single person had something to say about them. And it's like,
Because none of them were there on time. This is
they were all like,
this
"Why
is
are
a
you here? How are you?
This is
How
a
do you guys
big
know each other?"
pet peeve of mine, and it's hard to avoid. But it happens sometimes in the shows where like
that's
we've
annoying.
had a couple moments where like there's a thing we do at Punchline sometimes called Joke Parade, which is that if you didn't get to go up at the end of the day, they'll carve out 10 minutes at the end of the show. Every comic that didn't get to go up gets in line, and the idea is here's the theme, you tell just the dirtiest or most fucked up street joke you can tell based around the
Street
theme.
jokes.
So the theme's like old people, you go, how many old people does it take to fucking like, I don't know, break a hip,
like
whatever.
street magic.
Exactly. One-liners. The joke, the idea is if you start doing something, and there's 2 guys there to roast you, so one's on the mic and one's on the mic at the back, so if you do a joke from your set, they roast the fuck out of you, right? But I've seen it multiple times where someone will come in and will have they'll just try to pop in like, hey, I've been here the whole time, but they really just got there like 5 minutes before the show ended and do someone else's joke,
no.
the same joke someone else has done, and the audience and the comics just rip them apart.
I mean, dude, that's what this was. Except we're now a family. We've all grown. We all know each other. We're like asking how the kids are doing.
This is the one you were talking about earlier. You're standing up to their wedding, right? These first days.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So people would come, and some of them it just was like just repeating what Nick did, which is fine. Other people did not take that tactic and see them as people to easily make fun of, and it's like, oh, this is not going to end well. But so many people came in, would point at them, and be like,
"You guys had a date?"
Like,
yes,
like, how long you guys been together? And it's just like.
First day.
For the 8th time, this is our first date.
And it was just eventually it turned into a joke where they're just like, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
And like they had this whole fucking narrative going.
And that's not a good sign when people are laughing at the crowd more than laughing at the comics.
Exactly. And that's what happened.
Sorry, Carrot Top.
So now this is my tactic now. When I'm hosting and the organizer lets me book, like he's like today, my friend Warhol who hosts or organizes the show. He goes by Warhol Kaufman. He's very artistic.
Who would have guessed with a name like Warhol?
Exactly. He goes, hey, you can book some comics if you want. You can book 2 to 3. So I booked 8. I'm like, and everyone shows up at 8. I'm like, show up before 8, and if you have to go on a little early, let me know. But I don't want there to be. I can't stand it when it's a revolving door of comics. Like, what time do I go on? I'm like, you want to be on the fucking show? You sit there from the beginning. You watch the crowd. You be a part of it. And then you can go up, and that's what's going to be.
Good for you.
So I know I've taken the control back.
Look at you, boss man.
Sorry, I missed this. Is that tonight's show?
That's tonight's show. Yeah,
You're hosting tonight.
I'm hosting tonight's show.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, I host Delirium sometimes because I'm friends with Warhol, and he throws me a bone every once in a while. And I like to get the experience of hosting because it's a different it's a different vibe and a different art form than actually just going up and doing a set. Like you have to keep the audience going. You have to keep them on your side. You have to kind of act like you're inviting them to laugh and be a part of it. It's really fun. It's similar to what, like you've done a ton of that, like panels and stuff like that.
Where you got to go there and set the cadence. Yeah, set the rules. You want to get people to the point where they can succeed, but it's not about you going over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or if they fail miserably, you
bring it. You come in and you get the energy back for the next person.
Destroy them to the point where they want to quit comedy.
Sure, of course.
Yeah,
is this going to be your new thing? Are you going to be the new Tony Sparks?
No,
Nick Scarpino,
not necessarily.
King SF comedy.
I just think it's really fun to be able to do more time on stage and get back into an audience after you've already done like 5-6 minutes with them, or 8 minutes, depending on what you want to do. So I've done that. I started hosting some mics as well. I just put myself out there if people don't want to.
It's building your resume, kind of like.
But it's just experience.
Yeah.
Sure. Like I'll host the mic at OMG on Sunday night sometimes if my friend John is late. I'll just reach out to him and be like, hey, you're not here. Do you want me to kick this thing off? And so. He's there. I don't have time to actually run a mic or run a showcase on a monthly basis.
We could lay off if you want, then you could just go do it.
No, I like this job better.
Okay, just make sure.
This is I've done more here. I'm a little more experienced here, a little better at this than I am in comedy.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Throw it around.
No, you're very good, Nick. You're very good.
Andy, you were late.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I forgot we were doing Endgame in review, and I had a bunch of graphics to make.
I saw that come through on Slack.
As well as I was done with the graphics at one point. I was like, I think I finally nailed it. Cool. And I was like, the fucking rankings. Wait. I never updated after we did Captain Marvel.
You gotta put
Where
another
did we
one on
put Captain Marvel?
Gotcha.
Fuck, I have to make room for this now.
It's 22 now?
22, yeah.
Where do we put Captain Marvel?
We put it above Doctor Strange, below Black Panther.
It's a good spot. It's a good spot.
That sounds about right.
Andy, I haven't talked to you. I've been on the road. I've been moving. What's happening in your life?
You've been on tour, man.
What's happening?
You've been on tour.
I've been out there, making my way. Just out there pounding the pavement.
Making my way.
today.
Oh,
No.
God, now Barrett's asking.
Am I
if you
missing
got this
something
on.
else? Oh,
What did he
fuck.
forget? Barrett, get on the shock
What
mic.
did I
Tell him what he
miss?
missed. What did he miss? We keep working.
Fucked up the ranking.
Oh, what did I do?
It's supposed to be below Doctor Strange, not above.
Below Doctor Strange. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to go fix
I
that?
thought Barrett
you
was
can tell
about
me
to
about your
come
life
in
when
with
you come
some
back.
bullshit.
Think about what your life's been like.
Yo, you fucked up the ranking. Thor 2's number 1, man.
Oh, well, the general ranking in general is just fucked up.
What's that, Barrett?
Your guys' ranking is bullshit.
Our guys, you work here, idiot.
Yeah,
Your
I have
ranking
no fucking
sucks.
say in the
Your
ranking.
ranking sucks. How's it feel? How's it feel?
Real talk though,
Bend the bill of your hat.
Barrett, your breath smells amazing right now. I don't know what that gum is, but it's very minty.
Man, we got
very minty.
It's like
a commercial. Everything ice is over.
Did you guys smell it? The second he walked in, I was like, it smells delightfully like mint right now. And normally that's not the smell I'm used to hearing from when you guys come in.
This one is very potent.
Who is
I
it?
don't know. Icebreakers, I think.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There's two smells every once in a while that permeate this office, both of which I love.
What
it's
are
the
they?
gum smell and I just went to Flavor Country smell outside. Just that camel
Oh,
Camel
yeah,
Crush
yeah.
smell. I'm like, yes, youth. I just posted a picture on my Instagram from when I was like when I just started
you
IGN.
and Brendan Ayub.
Brendan Ayub, and I think we were in
Can you
Vegas.
throw it up?
Yeah,
Kev?
where did you post that?
You look so much like your brother.
I know, it's crazy, right? I think we were in Vegas because Ty said it was the Comic Club, but I was like, no, the Comic Club didn't have lamps, and you can clearly see there's people behind us, so that was not there.
I thought you were on the left.
Well, first off,
and
Kev, show
Matt
this,
was
show
on the
this.
right.
No, isn't that crazy?
Look at how
Look how
adorable
much I
me and
look
my
like
wife.
brother.
Who's on the
Kev,
left?
show this. There, look at me and my wife. So
All right,
cute.
well, we see it on the left,
The
yeah.
guy on my left is my buddy Brennan, and of course we're doing Predator here, naturally. But see, I think we're in Vegas because we're indoors, but I'm smoking inside.
Yeah, what year is
See,
this?
like I thought Nick was on the left, and I thought Matt was on the right.
Yeah.
No, that's me on the right.
Look at this woman in the back, Lady
You
Gaga.
look older in this picture
know.
than you do in real life.
I'm a lot heavier in this. I think I was probably 210 when I took
Dude,
this picture.
The day you lose your hair is gonna be really sad.
I can't wait to
he
shave my
looks
head again.
badass though.
No, he doesn't.
wanna shave my head
He
again.
looks like Matt. That's the only reason you think he looks badass.
Barrett, you
Matt's
should
badass.
shave your head again. I was scrolling through old photos of you. You look cool with
Alyssa hates it.
Oh, really?
She fucking hates it. Yeah. Which is gonna be. I told her I was like, yo, realistically, I'm gonna be bald by 30, so I just want to like let you know now.
Get on board with what's
Yeah.
happening here.
I
This isn't-
thought it looks. I think it looks cool.
Thank
I
you.
honestly do. Yeah,
last
yeah.
thing I'll say before I leave is y'all put Doctor Strange way too high. That movie's boring as fuck.
Tilda.
We're always happy to get a word from one of our patrons.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks. You know what I mean? Jackasses, ban them.
I fixed the ranking, Kev. Update that shit.
Andy, catch me up. What's been happening in your life?
Life's been it's been something, man. I've recently went through a breakup, and yeah, so just been kind of dealing with that.
Yeah.
Dealing with like fuck. I guess I just have like weekends to not do anything now. Like,
I guess I just have free time and extra money.
Yeah, I
It's
was,
crazy to have. You see your bank account going up. You're like, that's weird.
no, but I did notice how like, oh fuck, like I don't know if I'll be able to maintain this Uber Platinum level because it was a lot of
Not to
Uber.
take your moment, but I did hit platinum.
You hit
Hey,
platinum? Oh, nice,
finally.
very nice,
Nice.
very
It's a
nice.
dick thing to say.
Cross
Right?
the
We're all
After
a
he said he
diamond now,
broke up
by
with
the way.
someone.
Are you really?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm like halfway to diamond, and Uber's like
Slow down.
But I don't think I can get there, because it's like July 27th
Oh.
is the cutoff, and I'm only halfay there, and I just don't think it's gonna take a long time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so I was like, I had noticed that like I was talking to my Twitch stream, and I was like, you'll see me a lot on the weekends now.
Did you tell them you went through the workout?
I told them I finally told them like a couple days ago. Once people were asking like, oh yeah, you weren't supposed to be at New York, and that was like really nice of you guys. Where the like 4 or 5 days before the New York meet and greet, which I was not scheduled to go to, and I didn't really tell anybody. But yeah, that's when Tim was like, hey, we don't want you to spend this weekend alone. Chill with us. Come with us.
I must be the worst person to hang
Like how
out with
Nick
after
just
a
laughs.
breakup. No, because
I
Andy's
was going
like,
through a really rough time.
no, because I think like I was just like I felt like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be Andy's older brother right now. He's got a breakup. We're going to New York. I'm gonna like point out all the hot girls and this and that,
Oh, yeah, that's why you're
and
doing
tell
it.
you like how awesome it is you're single now. And Andy's like, I am not in the mindset for this. I do not want this pervy
Please
old
stop
dude to be
talking.
like to try to like
All the kid
fucking
wanted was
wingman
pizza.
me.
We couldn't make it happen.
We screwed him.
We
screwed him
tried every
over.
time until finally it was rained out by God.
I was so sad that I wasn't here to talk about that because I really wanted to talk about the disappointment of no pizza. It's just so
You got
sad.
played, man.
I got
It's
so
the long
played,
con.
man. Fucking bullshit, dude. And those cheese sticks were horrible. They were
Yeah.
miserable cheese sticks.
Tell you what were good though.
What?
The combos that we had.
The combos were good. Really weird. The key lime
Those are disgusting.
Doritos, really,
That was gross.
And they weren't key
They're
lime.
key lime.
No, they weren't key lime, but they had a sweetness to them,
They
which was
taste
kind of
like key
odd.
lime.
They were like electric lime.
Oh, okay.
So like you have like the Les Limon, which is one thing. But then you have these new ruffles that are like electric lime, and it's like electric taste. I was like, oh, let me try these out.
This sounds like some
But
Andy
there's
shit.
like a sweetness to them, and it's off-putting. I don't like it.
Is there
I
a
like it.
difference between lemon and limon? Is limon just lemon in
Yeah.
other languages?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just yeah.
from what I can gather.
Yeah.
So how you dealing with the breakup? If we're done with the electric chip talk.
It's been rough. It's been
Yeah.
rough. It's like I finally broke the news to my parents a couple days ago because I didn't want to tell them immediately. Because this isn't the
Well,
first.
that's always the problem with the breakup, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know if is it going to take.
Exactly. This isn't the first time that it's happened, but
Yeah.
this one was definitely more
Definitive.
Definitive, yes, absolutely. And so the first time I kind of told him immediately. This time I was like, I'm gonna wait around for a bit. And then me and my brother were talking, and I told him, and I was like, don't tell mom and dad yet. I know that they're gonna call me and like be like really worried. You know,
Sure.
they're gonna be mom and dad
Parents,
about it.
yeah.
So I finally told them the other day, just kind of like as an aside at the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Where I could just kind of fit it in.
You're like, all right, yeah, well, just keep me posted. Also, we broke up.
Didn't like the electric chips, but also broke up.
And so, I mean, because I just catch up with them like every week or whatever. And so, yeah, I broke the news to them, and they're like, well, you know, that's really unfortunate, but you're a talented, nice person. And I was like, I appreciate that. I just, I hate sort of hearing that stuff because it just kind of,
It doesn't help.
yeah, it doesn't help. I know what they're
It's
trying
best
to do.
intentions.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
you know,
It's
you
from
gotta-
anybody. Like,
yeah.
you know, all of your friends, and they want you to feel good and positive, but yeah, it's just, you know, it's just been rough. You know,
Yeah.
it reminded me of your breakup episode. Like,
Sure.
thinking of like, fuck, like I thought that was the one. You know,
Yeah, that's a rough one, right?
Yeah.
And then you gotta figure it all out again. You'll be fine, you know.
Yeah,
I don't want to give you more shit that you don't.
No,
you've
yeah,
heard
for
from
sure,
a million
for
people
sure.
that you don't know.
for sure.
Grass
But
greener.
you're a nice, talented person.
Fish.
You're
So
good.
it's been like
A lot of fish in the sea.
all that stuff,
All the
all those
adages.
cliches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, and I foresee that it won't be easy for a while. But
Yeah.
But you guys were together for a while, yeah? How long?
Yeah,
Since
well,
you've been out here, right?
yeah, a little bit, yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's okay. Well, sometimes these things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I always look at it was like if it's if later down the road you all reconnect, then
Sure.
you know that
Absolutely,
can be a thing.
yeah.
That can be a thing. But for right now, this is
Yeah.
what needs to happen, and so that's what you have to be.
It's definitely in a weird spot where it was it's not because anybody like fucked up or anything. It was just more of a she wants to move back and hates it here, but you know, we're still very much in love, and I feel like that's almost harder.
Oh yeah.
way
yeah.
harder.
It's definitely harder.
There's no clean break. That's just so much.
Yeah, like
So hard to get
there's still a lot
closure.
of feelings there. There's still a lot of, you know, I love yous and I miss yous, and this, you know, this is really shitty. Yeah, so that's the weekend was like when I'm playing games and I'm like I definitely feel like streaming has helped me out to get in the positive mind space of like, hey, I'm here to be funny, and like, you know,
Sure.
we're here to chill
Keep your
with
mind
each other.
off it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You have a task.
And then like watching Avengers was great and all that shit. Game of Thrones is something to look forward to. Overwatch League had my mind occupied quite a bit as well.
Sure. Excelsior.
Burning Blue, man.
Excelsior and or SF, you know.
Excelsior, did they win? I think Excelsior lost,
that
actually.
sucks.
Yeah. Oh, no, they lost last weekend.
That's
They lost last
heartbreaker.
weekend.
How'd the Shock do?
Shock didn't play, I don't think.
Huh, okay.
This weekend was interesting because it was the first home weekend in Dallas. The first
Sure.
weekend away from LA. And so like all these games happened in Dallas, and it was just like it was really cool that like the hometown and like 5,000 people showed up. It was really awesome. So like rooting for that was like something to keep my mind off of things, you know.
Yeah.
Ate some pretty good pizza. Escape from New York,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
not
Not the best.
not
It's
the
pretty
best,
good,
but
yeah.
definitely good.
Yeah.
I've been super heartbroken, you know.
What's
well,
up?
not really heartbroken. You're literally heartbroken. But you know what I mean. Detroit style pizza we all fell in love with, right? Via 313.
Yeah, right.
One of our friends we follow through the Wing Wings family recently put up on Instagram that her friends who do a Detroit style pop up in San Francisco just got a restaurant space. They're opening their own one,
I
right?
just said just got arrested.
No, pop up. They're starting a restaurant space. And then they shared the article about it, right? And it was from like Eater or whatever. And it was like, yeah, this is happening. And it's a movement that's starting to take off. Like, there's 2 other Detroit style pizza places that are open now. And Jen and I saw that and we're like, we're going. And we went to Cellar Maker to try theirs. And it was not nearly as good as Via 313. And this was heartbreaking for me.
Oh,
You
man.
know what I mean? Because like we all love that pizza so
God, I
much.
can't wait to go back.
I know, right?
We're coming
there's,
close.
There's the other one.
So
Why?
close.
Yeah. There's another one I'll check out and I'll get back to you on. You know what I mean?
Wait,
But-
what do you mean here?
yeah. So there's 2 other ones and then
Oh.
a third one that's opening.
Gotcha.
Cellar
gotcha.
Maker, it was way too salty. We got the pepperoni, way too salty.
But I love a good salty pepperoni.
I know, I hear
Crispy
you.
with a little
It
cup.
is a little
Where it
too
starts
far.
to do the little bowl
It
thing.
definitely did that. You can look at Fran Mirabella's stories. I think right now he still has one up because he went there last night.
Cool.
But I
Your
was
hair
hoping it
looks
was the other
cool
one.
right now.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
Your hair
Holy
looks
shit, it does.
look really cool.
He's out. He's out. He's like,
Yeah.
no, they're gonna call me on camera.
looks
Nah.
like a liquid snake.
Anyways, back to you and your
Look like
real heart.
fucking liquid snake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it. Like I feel like if I keep talking about it more, I'll probably cry, which I don't want to do.
Which I don't want to do. Shit's hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things, we're here for you, and it's like that. I know you don't want to hear all the shit, so it's like we can only just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah,
You know what I
we
mean?
talked about it before already, and yeah, so it's just been kind of keeping my mind occupied. Played Katana Zero, beat it, fantastic.
Yeah, good game, right?
Great game, really cool. Immediately like jumped to the subreddit to like
Get the story,
See
like
what's
what's
to like
going
see
on.
what people are thinking and what
Yeah.
like what sort of questions I had and all that shit.
You talked to Barrett about it because he's had a lot of questions. I know.
No,
Yeah, no,
I
no.
just heard him. We were talking at his engagement thing. Actually, we were talking with Yusef, and he was like telling Yusef, "You got to play it. You got to play it." And so I was like, maybe I'll try it out tonight. Yeah,
Sure.
it's $15. Might as
Yeah.
well give it a shot. I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really, really enjoyed it.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, we're here for all that bullshit. I won't
Thanks, guys.
say
Appreciate it.
anything else. We'll leave you alone.
I'm an awesome wingman. I just wanted you to know that. I know I didn't.
He's
really
not
put
ready for that, Nick.
I'm just saying when you're ready for it. Like I know you got a little taste of it in New York with me hanging out with you and us not doing anything like that.
Andy being like, "Can I
But
get some pizza?" And Nick's like, "No, let's talk about this girl over here." I see.
I was like, let's get combos and scope out.
He's
some
like, "Yeah, but I
chicks."
really want pizza. There's all my pizza
Want
place down the
pizza.
road. We just go there." He's like, "Nah, let's get
Scope
some
out some
combos."
chicks.
There's pizza everywhere around us. How about we just get some pizza?
I like how we did stay in the one neighborhood where there was no pizza. I was like, I don't like this neighborhood.
I walked to pizza 2 nights in a row in our neighborhood.
Thanks for the call, bro.
Hey, I can't help it that you wanted to go to bed early.
I went to bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning every time.
Fucked up, man.
Me and Andy literally waited up for you one of the nights. You just never came home.
I don't live, man. She never sleeps.
I was like me and Andy ended up. What were we watching? We were watching
This is horrible things.
Step Brothers or some shit like that.
No,
You
Step
did
Brothers came on later at night.
That was
which
the
I
one you
really excited
watched
about.
instead of sleeping for the plane ride home.
We had like an hour and a half to wait for
The alarm
us
clock to leave.
I was like, I'll just stay up.
I will say this: great time. I had a great time in Kansas City, great time in New York. But back-to-back trips with one-on-one weekend, then a full week of work, and then New York.
Yeah.
Fucked me up. For
How
a
stoked are you for
solid 2
Vancouver?
weeks. I'm very stoked for Vancouver because I'm going a day early to acclimate.
Yeah.
To get acclimate to the time zone.
Our time zone.
Yeah. And then I'm looking forward to just doing the meet and greet, having fun there.
It wasn't until the rest of the schedule for me in travel slid in there where I was like, man, that was a terrible decision because I had a day trip in LA last week on Wednesday, right? Came in and worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, went to Chicago, back at work Monday. Tonight I'll take an 8 o'clock to LA, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, back here on Thursday, then Saturday to Vancouver, then home Sunday from Vancouver. It's like 24 hours in Vancouver. And I looked at that and I was like, by itself, wouldn't have been a bad idea. Looking at that, and then it's
together?
one full
Yeah.
week of work and then another full week in LA.
Compounding,
I was
yeah.
like, I should have spent more time in Vancouver. But the dice
gonna
didn't
be
roll.
nuts.
Yeah, that's what I got ahead of that. I'm going a day early, which is going to be nice for me just to kind of like actually take a day off and decompress. I like how from Kevin over there, so that's going to be nice.
Kevin's been
I'm taking Friday
so
off.
stoked lately. Kevin kicked ass, built this awesome computer for me
Yeah.
so I can edit. And we went through a lot of testing, and we were initially very discouraged because
It sucks to build a PC.
it's a lot
no.
of
We
fun. I
got
love
we
it.
get all the
Just by
files
Mac?
together. We recorded a party mode for World War Z, and so
Did my footage play on that, by the way?
here's the thing.
shit.
So like all the gameplay, very very huge files. They're always gigantic files, and so I'm putting them into Premiere and I'm loading them in, and I'm getting all these different sequences so I can then make a multicam sequence to see like, can this run the giant files without me having to render proxy files to work on like shitty, small, low quality things? And I would drag in like, I would get to a point where nothing would work. And I was like, fuck, man, this shit just isn't working. Premiere's just having a headache with it. I was like, wait, maybe, Kevin and I were like, maybe it's fucking Nick's webcam file
Yeah.
or his game file. So like we dragged everything in and we just put in like something else. And it worked totally fine. We're like, oh my God. So it was your webcam file that was like corrupted. That,
Yeah, I think it was corrupted because it played for like the first 3 minutes and then just wouldn't play for me. I
Yeah,
couldn't scroll through it.
Kevin, we went into Handbrake and like fix it or
Just
whatever.
recompressed it. So you
But,
guys actually were able to salvage the footage?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good, okay.
Greg's very choppy, very like.
Now I move choppily though.
He does.
You sure do.
He practices that. Greg
But
Sean.
so was I in the background, and so was the video game in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's harder to fake. Yeah.
But the really encouraging thing
more
is that
impressive.
like that we were able to make a multicam sequence with these 4 gigantic gameplay files, and it ran perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Perfectly.
How many gigabytes of RAM you got on that bad boy there, Kev?
64, baby.
64 gigs of
That's a
RAM.
RAM, dude.
64
That's
gigs
what
of
you
RAM.
need right
but
there.
it's
Spend
mostly,
some money on this bitch.
but it's mostly the processor and the GPU that's like, taking the brunt of everything. But like, yeah, again, what I would do for old party modes, it's like, all right, we're done with these 4 giant gameplay files. Let me render out files that I can work on. And that's going to take
That's
3
great.
or 4 hours.
Well, that's going to save you a lot of time.
Yeah, so that no more like rendering time for proxies or whatever. I just go straight in there, pop in the files, and good to go. And
No
it's
more
like
excuses then.
Really encouraging. Yeah, no more excuses.
Good.
More
Good.
importantly.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe we
He'll
just.
figure something out.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
There it is.
Well, yeah, maybe I need to figure out something else for my. We've had problems with my specific like OBS recordings.
Your
on
Mac's
that.
super old and can't handle it.
I know that's true.
I'm gonna
I mean,
see
the Mac
laptop
is from
today.
2013, so
But Greg's was having problems too.
But mine's pretty close to his Mac.
It's not meant to be doing what it does.
yeah, I think it's
a
just can't
dismal
My
handle it.
Surface?
Yeah.
Like with nothing in it. It's like, hey, I'm a word processor. We're like, cool, film all this HD footage.
I'm all up for grabbing one of the other PCs and just recording on that, Kev. I really don't care.
Great.
I don't
What
have
if we
any
just get all new
allegiance to
Macs,
Macs. Or that's good too. Or we could just get little
no.
cameras, like little mini DV camera or little tiny cameras that we could flip and make sure they're
Stop
actually
spending
recording.
money on these.
No, I mean if it fixes the thing.
Yeah, we're almost there to being perfect, Kevin. Don't you want it to be perfect?
Don't you want cameras to look cool, Kev? How about we just use the PlayStation Eye and record?
Perfect. You know what I mean?
Easy.
Like you talking about you making fun of how I stream at home?
Oh, no.
When I'm in a little translucent circle.
That's so ugly.
By the way, it kills me every time people pop in. It's like, you are the CEO of a company that streams every day. Why is this your setup? Like, it's my fucking house.
In a vignetted circle.
Just up there, it's Portillo passed out on the couch next to me. And he's streaming every day.
It's so fun.
Fucking terrible.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I know that was a stressful thing for you, like having to re-render all that shit. It's just a lot of
It's
moving
just
parts.
it's just
annoying.
time consuming because
Yeah.
it like you lose the data rendering, and it's just those are precious minutes that can be used like actually
Anywhere
working on
else,
the
doing
yeah.
fucking thing.
stupid shit on
Yeah,
KFAF.
and it wouldn't not only am I rendering it, but it's also just it takes over the whole computer. Like there's no more CPU for me to do anything else with it. So it's like, well, I'm rendering. I'll just sit here and wait. Well, I should probably just go home because it's 4:00 and there's still like 2 more hours left in the render. And,
yeah. Stressful.
So, yeah,
What
we're
is the
excited.
state of party mode? How do you feel about it?
I feel like it's gotten back on track.
Yeah?
yeah, because I know it started off rough, and I've talked to people about it, like at meet and greets and stuff. And
It started off rough, you think?
I think this year the format of
Gotcha.
it and
Okay,
everything.
okay.
I think it's gotten back on track quality wise. I think the views are still lower than I would want them to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's more defined as to what they are now. Like I'm no longer am I going unedited. I think that there's like just too much dead time and downtime and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm still cutting in between stuff, but it's obviously
It's maybe not as intense as the jokes were before.
exactly, yeah.
Like the
So-
journey video.
And it's still like a faster edit for sure.
Sure.
Like, I'm getting through it quickly or whatever. But the multicams are still
Sure. Take up a lot of
intense.
time.
Yeah, they're still intense.
They're
But
gonna be easier.
I think like I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that like watch party mode all the time, and it's like one of our favorite thing or one of their favorite things of ours that we do. And they're like, oh yeah, the last like several episodes have been fucking awesome, and I think they have too.
Did the Ultimate Chicken Horse Party mode go out yet?
No, it's uploaded. It'll go up probably this week actually.
We need to play that game more.
I
No,
fucking
we
love
don't.
that
There's
game.
some magic to it.
I
Don't need to
love
play
it. It's Greg's Achilles heel. He cannot fucking beat that game. He cannot do well at it.
Did pretty good this episode, but it was
You
still,
started getting the hang of it.
but it was still like a lot of
It's
fun
like me
where-
and Gang Beasts.
Of
Whenever
course-
I can't fucking figure out how that game works. I just
love
can't
that
do
game
it.
So much.
Of course, I cut back to like the first episode
Sure.
of Greg being like, "Well, last time we played this, it was fucking a terrible episode," and I just cut back to all the "Come on, Greg, come on!" And like, and at one point you yell really loudly, "I fucking hate Ultimate Chicken Horse!"
Yeah, you definitely feel the ghost of that in this part.
It was
of
really fun. It was a
You
lot
were
of
not
fun.
having fun.
It's one. Tim had gone home, so Kevin filled in, and it was still like
God, it's
we
so
picked on
fucking
Kevin
fun.
quite a bit in the Battaloon episode.
Yeah, but I think we brought it back for Greg though.
Yeah.
because that's the one thing is whenever we're like sharks. We smell a little blood in the water and we just go in for the kill.
Yeah.
And then the fact that I learned early on that Greg did not like the game because he screamed at the very beginning, "I don't like this game." I'm like, that was a mistake. And now we have to fuck with you for an hour straight.
But you were making it way too hard for everybody.
It's strategy.
No, at the end it wasn't.
It's strategy.
Oh god.
Did I win?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
I
see.
won.
Don't ruin it.
Did I
Don't
win?
Don't ruin it. Well, check out party mode.
We'll see.
What's the next one? Is it World War Z?
No, it is Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Gotcha.
And then World War Z, I'll be editing this week
fun.
for the next week.
All right. Well, now a word from our sponsors. Tim,
Yes.
is this your favorite shirt now? I feel like this relaxed shirt gets worn a lot, and I'm not knocking
No,
it.
it's a once a weeker.
Sure. So how do you break out the t-shirts? Do you have just the 5 that you're saying are the A team? Yeah.
I mean, it's more than 5.
Sure.
But like,
Do you keep in a bag? It says once is Monday, once is Tuesday.
I mean, usually when I wear clothes, I do get into like modes for stretches of time. I do have just the ones that I just go back to
Sure.
until I get new ones and cycle them
Yeah.
out. But I would say that right now there's 2 filthy casual ones that like will get a slot a week, and then
Yeah.
I have a ton of MeUndies, just pure black.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are always in the rotation.
I forgot that we record ads, and I was wondering what transition are you building to?
Now we're for our sponsors.
for
Tim, you
him.
like that Relax shirt, don't you? Well, I know you can get it at
Realize.
relax.com.
Yeah, no, big fan of the shirt. Levi's been killing the game. I went there yesterday downtown before I saw Avengers again, and they're really kind of going hard with like what's trending right now. Like, you know, the denim jackets being cool again. You can go there, and half the Levi's store now is just dedicated to tailor-made denim jackets and pants and stuff. Where like they'll make your own patches, like they'll embroider whatever the
that's
fuck
fun.
you want
Wow.
it to say. Like that shit's cool. And then they have a ton of cool
Build-A-Bear.
shirts like this, but a ton of them, like all over, really cool stuff. And I'm like, fuck, like I really wish it didn't say Levi's all over things, because otherwise it's really cool design. And Levi's, never been a big fan of their logo, the weird looking crown.
Yeah, I feel
Is
you.
it a crown? I don't know.
I don't know actually.
That's
I
kinda royal.
just associate the Levi's
point.
with just the red tag.
the
This
red
is
thing.
Levi's. Which I always thought was kind of cool.
Oh no, the bold font. Yeah. At
Yeah.
first I thought it was cursive. No, it's just like
No, I think it's just bold. Now.
yeah, boldened.
Are we sponsored by Levi's?
No, we're just talking about things.
Oh, okay.
Things that are happening.
Love Levi.
But yeah, the dope shit though.
I forgot. We don't. I've been waiting for you to read the ad, and I'm like, I forgot we did that after.
No, we
Thank
insert
you.
those
Take a
now.
second.
No, it's fine. Don't
I want to give. What's that?
Nothing.
I know we went through this already, but it's hour 15 of podcast for me today. I want to give a shout out to Fernando at the Adidas store in the Westfield Mall.
Shout out Fernando.
Just lovely guy, best friend. Took good care of me and the missus. I went in to get a pair of Stan Smiths because I finally my Reeboks are getting a little long in the tooth, and I was like, I want a pair of Stan Smiths. I want another white pair of shoes, but I'm gonna switch it up to Reeboks or to Adidas. And he was just very, very cool. Hooked it up, much appreciated. Made just nice little nightcap on the end of my day there of shopping. Good day of shopping. He was very, very cool.
Wait, what's the Stan Smith? I don't get it.
Stan Smiths are just all white Adidas. Huh? You've seen them multiple
Yeah,
times.
I'm sure I have. I just
They're
didn't
the
know
ones
that
that-
was an Adidas brand.
Yeah,
or
they're
something.
sponsored. It's a Stan Smith they're just a classic Adidas looking shoe, and they're basically all white. Instead of the 3 stripes, they're perforated stripes, and then they have a little either green or blue or colored heel.
On the
I got
back?
the blue ones.
So after I went
You
to
can get black
Levi's,
ones.
I went to the Forever 21 across the street, which is like the biggest Forever 21 in the goddamn world. And the reason I did this was at Barrett's engagement, Yusuf was wearing a dope ass bomber jacket, as he often
Yeah,
does.
those are Stan Smiths.
And I
The
was like,
classic
where the
ones are
fuck
great.
did you
Not
get
those-
this? And he's like, oh,
the laces.
Forever
Forever
21.
21.
You should go check it out.
Yeah,
It's super cool.
Those are the ones I got.
And then
Well, hey, it's up.
it wasn't up though.
That's on Kevin. There you go. That's
There you
Stan
go.
Smiths.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was looking for these bomber jackets. It's 3 stories. Like, have you
bomber
been to this
jackets.
Forever 21 that I'm
No.
talking about
No.
downtown?
never.
It used to be the Tower Records.
I remember
Or
that.
Virgin
That
Records
makes
store.
one.
Not
Virgin
Tower.
makes one. I remember that.
And I'm just looking around. It is not clear at all where the men's section is, where the kids section
matter
is. or anything.
anymore.
It's just fucking mishmash. I'm like, this is horrible, but so many colors. And I was like, fuck, I am not cool enough to wear 90% of the things in here, but I really, really wish that I was. And I'm making the circle, going up, looking at everything, trying to find these damn bomber jackets. Spoilers, never found them.
Do you think
but-
Yusef lied to you because he didn't want you to have it?
Definitely not.
He
He's
actually
been
bought
very
it at
supportive.
H&M, but he's like, hey, yeah, I got this one from Red 21.
I don't think that was it. But I went
Sounds
the
like a
same
move
way
he'd
that
do.
Nick was talking about the Sam Smith collection or whatever. There's some woman that I do not know named Allison Wonderland.
Yep, nailed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
It sounds like a porn star.
And it
does
does.
sound like a porn star.
Doesn't seem like it though. But she has this whole collection and it's very colorful and there's a lot of shit going on. I'm like, maybe the bomber jackets are in there. Just had a hunch. I look over. No. It's a Pepsi collection. and I was
God.
just insulted.
Ew.
Gross.
Hundreds of there's clothing items that are just different Pepsi branded things. I'm like, y'all
time.
need to back the fuck off.
Nah, that's
Dude.
cool, man.
It's
That's
like
fucking
such
cool.
aggressive
That's cool.
marketing. I'm like, nah.
That's the same
you
thing.
You can't do this.
That's like the hot thing that like Kodak branded clothing is like huge now as well.
This is Alice in Wonderland.
That shit's cool, man.
That's a nice shirt.
That's a cool ass
Pepsi,
fucking
choice of
shirt.
new
Let
generation.
me
Cut
stop.
off.
Let me stop everyone right
Is that
there.
it? That's all they had?
I'm going to say
One
this.
picture?
This is a bold proclamation for me, okay? And I'll stand by this for the rest of my fucking life.
Their logo's way cooler than
Pepsi
Coke.
will never be cool, okay?
Never.
Coke is the OG. Pepsi is the cheap knockoff bullshit brand, okay?
Yeah, but Coke is all blue. Or Coke is all red, and
Yeah.
Pepsi's got the blue, white, and red, and that shit just looks cooler.
Listen,
Can I ask one question? Sorry, Greg Miller from KindofFunny.com.
yes, Greg from the Press Bowl.
Was Pepsi, or I don't, and I'm not even trying to troll, was Pepsi / Diet Pepsi cool when Ray Charles did? You picked the right one, baby.
No, they tried. That was their last real gasp of like that. Like,
What about in Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2?
Yeah, again, senseless product placement that they had to pay to get into the movie. I feel like they asked Coke, and Coke was like, "We don't care," and they're fine. Pepsi's like, "We'll pay." Like all that shit they did at the Super Bowl, where they go, where Steve Carell's sitting in the restaurant, and like
Pepsi okay?
Rihanna walks up to him, or whoever the fuck the person was like, "Can I get a Coke? Is Pepsi okay? Is Pepsi okay? Pepsi's more than okay." Nobody's ever thought that.
No one.
People go, "No, it's not okay," but I'll take it because I've already fucking committed to sitting in this restaurant for the next hour.
Well, my friends have already ordered, so now I fucking gotta get
They
it.
don't care. So
You know what I mean?
I guess
Can-
that
Can
was
you look
fun.
up Kodak clothing?
Yeah.
Kodak, like the picture people?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a cool clothing or bad clothing?
It's cool. Yeah, they're sort of coming back with like people are wearing jackets with like Kodak logos on the back, and
That was a thing a while
I
back. though.
don't even know what the Kodak logo. Okay, now I know what the Kodak logo is.
That
Yeah,
was the
makes sense.
Polar.
Well,
I used to have a
it's not
Polaroid shirt
Those
that
pants
looked
are
like that.
fucking
Those pants are
dope.
hot because it looks like the Kodak VHS
freak,
tape,
man.
right?
This is what I'm talking about. Everything in Forever 21 is this aesthetic.
Yeah.
So much of it, I'm like, I can't pull this shit off, but it's really damn cool.
it's a lot of like very the shirt on the far left. That's kind of more reminiscent of what I'm talking about, where it's like the old VHS tape boxes.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
that's actual like for
Yeah.
your camera.
That's
yeah.
exposure for
That shit's
film.
cool,
yeah,
man.
old school.
It's dope.
We talked about this before, but like a lot of those older brands are coming back. Like now, Fila and Champion are cool again. And I'm like, when did that happen?
I don't know if Champion was ever cool. I had a
don't-
lot of
don't think
Champion clothing.
Ever had
No,
sorry,
the only thing with
sorry.
Champion
Let me
remember is
back
that
up.
they were the official jersey. Sometimes
Champion
you
is
had
like New Balance and Champion are the same level. Champion is the kid version of New Balance.
Sorry, let me back up. I misspoke. They're cool now.
Yeah.
I don't think Fila's ever been cool either.
Fila's have been cool.
I don't know about that.
Fila's definitely had moments.
I know the logo for Fila. I don't know what they sell or are.
Fila's like
Shoes.
Onitsuka Tiger kind of.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
They have like their cool moments.
Only Took a Tiger definitely had a moment.
But
like
I
the
wore
early 2000s.
I wore. I used to wear Champion as a kid because like that's what the football jerseys were, back in the day. And I think, speaking of Skechers and Champion, I think Tony Romo is both sponsored by both of those brands. Which I was like, Tony, come on, man, go to like Adidas or Nike or something.
Alice in
man.
Wonderland, come on.
Yeah,
Man, he's taking the money where he can find it. You know what
you're
I mean?
right.
Skechers might as well like wear those like orthopedic shoes.
Skechers
Yeah.
were fucking weird. I feel like that was such a forced marketing thing.
It
of the, like,
totally was.
It's the cool kid shoe. Get the hell out of here.
Get outta here,
Nobody
Skechers.
wanted Skechers.
People want
Everybody
Nikes.
wanted LA Lights, dude, back in the day.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you
God.
did. You wanted to light up.
my
Yeah.
God.
If you didn't have LA Lights, you were a fucking loser.
Yeah.
That and the
I
pumps.
think I had a
Remember
pair
the
of
pump
I
shoes?
didn't have very many. Oh, the pumps were really cool.
Yeah,
Made you jump higher.
Yeah, yeah. Easier to walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so much of your day, you're like, it's hard to walk.
Do you guys
God.
remember a time when like there was all those news articles about kids getting like beat up and for their pumps?
No.
There was a time when I was growing up that people would be like,
That happens with everything though. Starter jackets. I remember that crap
Yeah.
too.
Oh, starter jackets are cool.
Which one did
dude.
you have?
I think I had like a Cowboys one, like a dark blue,
Yeah.
like with like light blue accents. And
I had
stuff.
a Notre
what was the
Dame
starter
one.
jacket?
So they were the
puffy.
big puffy coats with a pouch in front. You put your hands in, you had this Velcro pouch there, and like they were for all the sports teams. I had a Notre Dame one, and I remember what a huge deal it was to buy that because it was like holy shit.
Whoa, you're a
I'm
cool
gonna
kid.
walk into school with a new starter
Big shit.
jacket.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, I remember.
Get laid so much. Huh?
I remember
No, I was like in 8th grade, 4th grade, somewhere there.
the kids in junior high. When I went to junior high, I met a whole new class of kids that were in club soccer, and they all had the club soccer Adidas jackets that weren't track jackets. They were like actual soccer jackets, so they had a little bit more to them. And I was like, these are so fucking cool because they were colored to the club, like the colors of their club, like soccer team. So some of them had burgundy ones, some of them had black, some of them had blue. I was like, this is so cool. How do I get that? And they were like, you have to
play
get off your
soccer.
lazy
And
ass
you're
and play
like,
soccer.
no.
I was like, I don't want that. And then lo and behold, I just found one and bought them. They're like, you're a fucking poser. But they were so expensive for the time.
Such a narrative.
They were so expensive that like I just remember thinking, like I actually as a child was like, I don't think my mom should spend $200 on this jacket, but I made her anyway, and she was like, are you sure you want this? And then I was like, kind of, I think I had gotten it. It was after it was cool, and then I was embarrassed by. It's the stupid shit you do when you're
I
a kid.
know,
Or like,
kids are
I just
dumb,
want to
man.
fit in.
Kids are
I just
so
want to fit
dumb.
in. Say that and Janko jeans, where like I bought a pair of Jankos and never wore them because I was like, I can't pull these off. And my mom's like, you made me look forever to find these fucking jeans, and you tried them on, and you had to have them like, because I was a short, fat kid. So like it was impossible to find any sort of designer or cool jean. And finally we found them, and I made my mom buy them, and I never wore them. And she was like, I fucking hate this kid.
That's how I was with
Hate
Dickies
this kid.
shorts. Dickies shorts were like
They're
the
a big
thing
deal.
you
Yeah, they're a
bought
big
if
deal.
you were
Yeah.
like
If you played Tony Hawk's
if you
Pro
were
Skater.
a punk rock like Blink-182 fan, and so they
Dickies,
were,
all Dickies though, right? Like Dickies shirts and like.
no. So like my whole
He's like, no, get the fuck out of here with that. No.
I'll fuck off. Sorry.
no like the thing you had to do if you were a true like pop punk kid back in the day was like you want to be like Blink-182, you want to look like Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge. There was a warehouse kind of like in a city maybe 40 minutes away that sometimes your family would go to shop, and I knew that they had a Dickies store there.
Sure.
And I was like, oh my god, if you're there, please, like dark gray, maybe like blue, like navy blue, white,
Yeah.
whatever. And then you would couple that with like the brightest, like at first it was like Hurley and just all the skate brands.
Yeah.
You wanted like really bright clothes with like bracelets and shit like that. But then Blink-182 went into their darker phase, and it was all black, like Atticus and fucking what were the other brands that they wore? I mean, they were still wearing like black Hurley shirts.
Were they all wearing Arnett's? Because I remember everyone
No,
always
I don't
wore
know what that
like the big black sunglasses that like
You
what
think
you
of
call
blue
it?
blockers?
No, not blue, but they kind of no. Arnett's were just like the skater punk
Oh, no.
like sunglasses that weren't like if you didn't want to wear Oakleys because they were lame, so you wore Arnett's or like Dragonflies. Like remember those sunglasses?
Oh, Dragonflies! I remember that.
Like anytime
yeah.
you'd walk into like a Tilly's and you'd see
Shout out to Tilly's.
you'd see the sunglasses that were behind the glass case. Those are the ones I'm talking about. We're like, oh my god, those are so cool.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus had the Pumas, so I had to buy Puma shoes, and then Tom DeLonge came out with his Macbeth shoes, and I was like, I gotta get those fucking Macbeths. Where do we get them? You buy them online from some website you've never really heard of, and like it may not be super safe.
This is the one upside of going to Catholic school your whole life is that I just never had any. I didn't get not care. Walmart. The biggest thing probably was that I'm sure you'll all believe it. This is gonna sound unbelievable, but I'm sure you'll all believe it. Is that little Greg Miller growing up didn't like how jeans felt on his legs.
You set me up for it. I still didn't expect you to say something that stupid.
Just did not like the feel. So if it was not a uniform day, little Greg Miller already showed up in sweatpants.
Yeah, I believe that. Audio listeners, I want to also point out that Greg's wearing some sort of like neoprene
my Portillo
Portillo's shirt
Yeah,
right now.
it's like a dry fit too. Feel it.
yeah,
I can go
no,
work out if I
I don't
wanted
need to
to.
feel it. Okay.
No.
So yeah, I grew up never. Well, I mean, eventually I broke down because jeans were cool. People wore jeans, but then it was the same thing.
People wore jeans.
Whenever.
As if it's like some weird.
I wondered that. I felt like it
What a
was
weird
like
fad, people
we
wearing
were
jeans.
we were deep into it. Like it was like. You're like people are calling me on this. Like, why are you always wearing sweatpants? Why don't you wear jeans? Like, I don't hate them. I don't like how they feel. That's a weird thing to
Man.
say. Whatever.
I mean, to be fair though, given the choice, if all was equal and sweatpants were as cool as denim, wouldn't we all pick sweatpants?
Sure.
They're way more
Now
comfortable.
you can get away with it, your joggers and all that
Now
stuff.
you're
You know,
fine.
what I mean?
The joggers,
But
yeah.
like
Joggers
again,
all the
growing up,
time.
it was that all my jeans were like Wrangler from Walmart or whatever. Right? I didn't care. Nobody
Hell
knew.
yeah.
Nobody paid attention to that kind of crap. And then it's the other thing too. I feel the starter jacket was a big deal. You talked about like never wearing it. Starter jackets everybody wore. I wore mine, and I remember I got a lot of use out of it because, again, yeah, you're investing. I think they were $150 if memory sounds right for a starter jacket. I remember that was a big investment, but I didn't grow out of it for a while. That was the problem. You know, you get kids these clothes, they grow out of them in 2 seconds. But I've been wearing Converse since the first pair of shoes I needed to lace up. Got those. Cried a lot because I couldn't tie them.
Yeah.
Because you know how to do that.
Naturally.
Yeah, exactly. It was upsetting. You know
I
what
wanted
mean?
Converse too, but
Understand.
I ended up getting Converse after a long time of never wearing them.
Sure. Yeah,
And
if you're not born
I
into
didn't
it.
like them.
Oh, yeah. You
Not
got
like
they are
the
a
flat
very
foot. You got the
uncomfortable
flat
shoe.
foot. Yeah.
Not only the uncomfortable, but I just didn't like the way they looked on me.
Sure.
Like I was, a lot of my friends wore Converse. I was like, oh, I might as well get a pair. And then it ended up being like, I never fucking wore them. They were also high tops. And they were like, kind of like a teal-ish color, like a dark teal aquamarine.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't really like these. I should not have asked for these. And I felt kind of bad because I never fucking wore them.
Yeah, no,
I had
that'll happen.
So many pairs of Chucks,
Yeah.
like in every fucking color.
Yeah, me too. Growing up, I was all crazy with it. Had the American flag ones, had the red ones, blue
that-
ones, light blue ones.
We got a lot of Vans now, right, Kev?
Yeah, I'm all about Vans now.
Yeah, you're about that van
I
life?
switched over.
What happened? Why the change? Why'd you give up on us?
So originally I had started with Vans.
Oh, okay.
I had ones that were like navy blue with an orange, like a super neon orange, the Van check thing.
Sure.
And at some point, I think my sister got me the checkered
Slip-ons?
high tops.
Oh, high tops.
The high tops.
Classics.
And on Chucks. And then I switched over. And I had a bunch of different high tops. And
The
then
problem
back to
with
Vans.
wearing Chucks your entire life is that now when I do have to put on another shoe, like when we thought my knee was getting hurt by the Chucks, and I had to try on other gym shoes, they all look like clown shoes.
like Tiger
They all
Woods.
look gigantic. You know what I mean? Because in reality, the Chuck is just a layer of skin, right? It's like I'm wearing Symbiote on my foot. You put on a real shoe though, that's like I'm wearing a tank armor.
We got to get you some dad like K-Swisses.
No, I'm not giving up.
That's why
Those were cool for a
That's
minute.
one thing about Chucks that I started to not like Onitsuka Tigers for, because I was like for 5 or 6 years I was like that's all I would buy was Onitsuka Tigers, but I got really tired of them coming out with colorways that I just didn't like anymore, and they kept on coming out with weird like mustard and fucking bronze. Like, what are these fucking colors, dude? Just give me like a white with really cool colored stripes.
I used to
Like,
have the red, white, and blue ones. The white base
I just
with the
want
red.
really, yeah, and it got to the point where I was rebuying old colorways
Oh,
because
yeah.
I just
Okay.
like the new ones that they're coming out with. I'm not digging. I don't want navy blue, dark navy blue shoes. Like, give me black and a bright color, or like white and a bright color or something. And then so I eventually switched over to these Nike Air Spans because they're not as big as like Dunks or anything like that, but they're also. I have big legs, and
Yeah, you
with
do.
the Onitsuka Tigers, it made my feet look so small, and so I needed like Nikes to kind of like counterbalance. You know what I mean?
yeah, try to balance it out.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
I also feel like the Tigers are not. They don't offer a ton of support because they're based largely off of like a wrestling shoe, so they
Yeah.
have very little tread.
It's a wrestler running shoe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that I wore like one pair of them and I'm like, these are not very comfortable for me. Same with and it breaks my heart to say this, but same with like the normal lace up Vans. They just fuck my feet up. They're not very comfortable at all. That's why I'm going more toward like a bigger tennis shoe with a lot more sole to it, because we do a lot of walking around and standing.
That's why I love Jordan so much. I'm one of the main
Very
reasons.
comfortable.
But like, there's a lot of padding going on in there. But yeah, Bay Area is such a different beast than all this, because like it really was a flow chart of a yes, no, what path you going down. Where it's like there was the punk rock route where it's like, okay, you wear Vans and you're going down. It's either Vans or Converse. Cool, there's an outfit that goes with that. But then on the more urban side of it, it really was a split of. There's this place called Anchor Blue.
Oh, I know Anchor Blue.
Where it was a
I remember Anchor
California
Blue.
brand.
Yeah.
Where it was just a jean place, and you'd go get jeans, and they would.
I feel like that turned into Old Navy eventually. Maybe I'm
bought
crazy.
by them.
That
Old
makes
Navy
sense.
bought Anchor Blue, just like put it out of his fucking
Yeah,
misery.
fuck you.
But it's where you'd go and you buy jeans, and it's not by like style. Their style is just slim, straight, baggy,
Husky.
beyond baggy, way beyond baggy.
Really?
And that was the one everyone got, because it was just like this place was designed essentially around. There was two sides. There's the punk rock kids getting the skinny, and then there's the urban kids getting the fucking way beyond baggy. I had way too many of those, as you can imagine. But then there's the step above that, though, where, you know, I mean, even to this day, I like my Jordans trying to match with my shirt coloring wise, right?
Sure.
But back then, it'd be all about you have to match the colors with everything. So the shoes with the weird colorways would be exciting, because that would introduce a whole new colorway into your lifestyle, into your closet, because you need to match from head to toe. So there was these jeans called Gerbeaus. Kev, can you bring this up?
God, I know Gerbeaus.
The Martin Francis Gerbeaus, which were these
How
were
the
the
hell-
hotness. Gerbeau,
G-I-R-B-A-U-D.
Wow, would not have gone that
Not
way.
all
thought
of you
Jen,
guys.
Jabot.
Not all of you-
G-I-R.
Uh-huh.
B-A-U-D. Jeans.
Got it.
And the thing about these jeans is they were baggy, and then they would come with straps around the middle of the leg that were colored, going down the leg. Yeah.
Oh damn.
So bring
my
this up, Kev.
God,
This
those
looks
are
like John
fucking
Cena
hideous.
stuff.
Those are hideous.
These are hideous.
Yeah.
Never
So
wear
you see how
those.
it's
Give me
like,
a hot orange one. Hot orange. Yeah, one more.
One more over.
There you go.
Those are.
That looks like
Oh
you
yeah.
work in construction.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had them in every single color.
You
And
look like
get
the new
these
Ghostbusters.
with the colored with Jordans that matched with whatever sports team jersey you
Are
happen to
they
match.
fucking wait?
It's
do
fantastic.
do they come with an elastic band around the waist? Because I could get behind that.
I mean, not the waist, but
they do look. The ones the orange ones definitely look elastic.
So it's Velcro.
They
There's
look like
Velcro that you would pull.
bulletproof.
These are hideous.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
got a
sure
little-
there are
oh, no,
many,
it's just a,
many pictures of me and Cool Greg
Sprinkling.
in
Why
these.
is-
Oh yeah,
No
my
one-
brother was all about these because everybody at his school was all about these, and I was too young to really care about them when they
Christ,
were
those are hideous.
the hotness.
It kind of looks like Superboy, which I'm into.
Scroll up, Kev.
Because I'm older. I'm
That
a couple
picture of
years
the guy
older.
wearing
than-
them?
I'm a bit older than you,
Left.
Tim, and I feel like this fad was happening when I was way younger.
Wait, but no one wore it like this, right?
You know they
Sure,
did,
some
but
people
I'm
did.
reading this. There's a nostalgia-driven underground market. There's this, and there's a picture to the right. Yeah. So
But, like,
this is
no
what
one-
This was what the modern version would look
Looks like
like.
something Grimecraft would wear.
This is cool. I
I
get
like
behind
that.
this.
Again, looks like Superboy.
Let's bring him back, baby.
do it.
Oh my god! I was like, are his genes connected to something? Does he have a power
That's
pack
what I
in him?
thought too. I
the
thought
fuck
it
is
was,
going
he was
on?
being inflated. I thought
thought that's what it was, too.
Hey,
Like,
Kev, do me another favor. Look up Lot 29.
Lot 29 sounds familiar.
LOT, and then the number 2, number 9.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, one of the things that I loved about that picture that I posted on Instagram was I'm wearing one of those graphic tees that were just the obnoxious, like not quite the ones with all the tigers and
Hardy?
shit. Ed Hardy, not quite Ed Hardy, but like the knockoff
Close enough.
Nordstrom brand Ed Hardy,
Yeah.
where it was like full fucking chest and almost to the back. Oh, terrible!
Yeah.
Look at how hideous that fucking
Is
shirt
it a
is.
tiger?
I don't know what it was, Kevin. It's just, and that was my going out
You
shirt.
look like nobody I would want to know.
God, it's
Dude, I showed this picture to my wife and I was like, this is what you fell in love with.
Isn't that weird?
Because this is probably around the time that I met her. And she was like,
Man.
Jesus, what did I do in my life?
Crazy.
Terrible.
Did you add the Vegas thing now? Yeah. Okay.
No, I put that in when I tagged it because I think it was in Vegas. I just thought it'd be funny.
Lot
For the
29
three
stuff's
people
pulled
that
up.
remember this picture.
Do you need the jeans?
So Lot 29, the jeans were the main thing, so you can get that in the middle row on the left, Kev.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Middle row.
Middle row.
The
all
one that
way
says
left there.
Nelly.
God, yeah, I was talking about this the other day.
Those
Yeah,
are
we were talking about it.
fucking
It's
hideous.
like, so Lot 29, they had a branded thing with Looney Tunes. And it was the fucking hotness to have like these weird ass things where it's like, it started off just like, oh, it's Tasmanian Devil and Marvin the Martian who has a little space gun. But pretty quickly turned into Marvin the Martian fucking with Halloween, just
Yeah.
like real guns.
Yeah, I was talking to Tim, and I forgot
Like
who
Tweety,
else.
go up to the Tweety. top
Yeah.
left.
Like that Tweety,
Yeah.
that thug looking Tweety, I've seen so many times at the
Hideous.
local mall. It's called El Plaza Mall, and I don't even think it's open anymore. But it was like the cheap bargain mall. Like you were cool if you went to La Plaza, but if you went to El Centro Mall was like the really really kind of bad and dirty mall that
Sure, you
like
know, Kevin.
people didn't like or whatever. But that's where they had. Oh God, what's the store with all the like the fucking
Spencer Gifts.
Spencer's, yes,
Oh,
of
God,
course they had a
Spencer's
Spencer's
were
there.
great.
But they always had the little stands in the middle of the walkways.
Sure, yeah.
And there's guys doing the airbrushing on T-shirts
Oh, yeah,
and
oh,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And every fucking design had like a Tweety with like a blunt in his mouth. Or like, it's like, what? This is a weird
Hey,
crossing.
man, our cartoons grew up. Our cartoons grew
Yeah,
up
they
with
did.
this.
They
That
sure
was what it's
did.
all
Became
about.
potheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I never had to chase any of this. Once in a while, I'd buy
Neither did I.
a pair of
Not that.
superhero shoes. You know what I mean? That'd be a thing as a kid. Again, I remember once at Aunt Dell's house having a new pair of Spider-Man shoes or whatever and stepping in mud and getting muddy and crying.
And
And that was when
you
Aunt
cried,
Dell, that's
yeah.
when Aunt Dell was literally like, you got to stop. Like,
There's a problem
You're getting
here, and
too
it's
old for
you.
this. Yeah, you're getting too old for this.
Before the punk rock days, there was the moment where I was really into like rap music and playing basketball, and I was like buying like I would wear like shitty fucking fake gold chains.
Fucking
and
Allen
shit.
Iverson was your
Yeah,
god.
Allen Iverson was the god.
And
yeah,
one.
The whole and one mixtape culture. Oh my god! And a lot of that was just my brother because that's what he was into in school.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then it was that fateful fucking day where I first listened to Blink-182 that just branched me off on a
Sure.
totally different
They
path.
saved you. They saved
totally
you.
different path. Yeah, in a way they saved me. Yeah, or I could have been a baller, shot caller,
No.
Well,
20-inch blades.
not
only
sure
in
if that
baller.
would have been in the future for you.
You never know, man. You never
I do know.
Not giving up
That's,
yet.
Okay, hey, you know what? KFAF for sure.
I was while I was watching over the weekend watching Overwatch, one of the players came in and he subbed in and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the veteran Cool Matt was his name or whatever." And he's like the veteran of the team on the Houston Outlaws and he's 30 years old. And all the other gamers are like all the other players on the team are like 22, 23, some are 18, some are 19.
Sure.
He was 30. I was like, "Fuck, I did not know he was 30."
What's Fatality doing? Is he playing in the Overwatch League?
No, I don't know what Fatality's up to actually. But then they mentioned somebody in chat was like, "Oh, Andy, it was Mike Toggle on Games." Was like, "Oh, dude, we're just 31. Like we could still do it."
Sure.
And I was like, "I'm still holding out for
Cinderella
the NBA,
story.
man. Still holding out for the NBA. You know.
Yeah.
I'd rather go that path than pro gamer.
You know,
It's there.
50-50.
It's there for
6
us,
and 1,
dude.
half dozen the other, really.
When are we gonna do a KFAF bit out on the basketball court?
I think we
Where
tried
actually
that
shoot a
once and we
basketball?
got kicked off because it's a junior high and they're like, you guys are too old to be here.
No.
No.
Oh, I didn't like that sound.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kinda Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic or whatever from their lives to talk to you about it and have some fun. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can be part of the show. You can get your names read on the show. You can just toss us a couple bucks and get the shows early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can wait till Friday when the show goes up as a big video and big MP3 on podcast services around the globe. And of course, youtube.com/kindafunny and roosterteeth.com.
I like these hypotheticals. It's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, only did the one.
Yeah.
But there's that one too. You almost made it, O'Shea. But then I got cold feet because Joshua was like, his was already used apparently in some other show. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know where people are pulling these documents from and using it. So I just stopped.
I think it was the chat. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's fair. So we're going to do O'Shea's thing here in the post show because there's a pre and post show, of course, for Kinda Funny podcast on patreon.com/kindafunny.
And the post show today.
Yeah.
I want Andy to tell a story of something that
so we're not
happened
going to do O'Shea's question.
on a trip to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I've told this story before on the podcast.
Are we in the post show?
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. All right, now we're in the post show.
We had quite the fucking trip to
When?
Buffalo Wild Wings on
Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the one I wussed out on.
bitched out immediately.
It's 2:00.
How could you have told the story on the podcast then already?
I have told it. I've told this small weird story just kind of as an aside on the podcast, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago.
I thought you just said it happened on Friday.
It did happen. I retold it to them because I knew that they weren't listening.
Okay.
I knew that this is just one of those
Let him
things
tell
where
the story.
like
I'm confused too, but what happened?
this story happened on the podcast and I kind of told you and you're like, oh wow, that's fucking sucks. And we just kind of moved on or whatever. But we're driving back from Buffalo Wild Wings and we were talking about how dangerous like Kevin can be driving sometimes. And we started talking about like possible car wrecks and how car wrecks are scary. And I told a story about how on the right side of Instagram, there's all these like kind of tailored stories like from ESPN or from IGN or whatever. And there was one from, I forgot who the fuck it was, but it was about a girl who was in the car with her boyfriend in the passenger seat. She had her feet up on the dash.
Yeah.
And they got into a wreck and her knees came forward and
Killed her.
now she doesn't have a forehead.
See? It is that funny. It is that funny. Because you don't expect that to be the end of the story.
The way he says it.
It's like, and Andy just thinks that's a normal thing. Yeah, she just doesn't have a forehead.
But I just think I'm telling a
does that
story.
mean?
I was just thinking I was telling a story, right? I was like, and then Joey's in the back seat, Joey and Barrett, but Joey Moore is just like crying of laughter and cannot form a sentence, cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, she just doesn't have. I got her to get the big deal is like
She just doesn't have
and
a
it's a really
forehead.
sad story. And like I saw photos of it, and they show her like she's still living. But it's really bad because like she doesn't have a forehead anymore.
So what exactly
does that mean? Like, if
It's
she-
like it's slanted back.
Like if she lays down, can
Yeah,
she
draw it
also
for me. Draw it on
double
the
as a
back.
candy bowl?
Didn't you slack me the picture?
I did
Yeah.
slack you the picture,
We're
but
not
I don't
putting
want
up
to.
the
I don't
picture.
want to bring up the picture.
Gross.
I mean, but
Yeah.
it's not bad.
It's very sad.
But I
yeah,
mean,
the whole story's sad.
yeah, you should show this, Cav. Can you pull it
I
up?
don't want to.
All right.
Like that's how her
Oh,
head
it's
is.
concave.
Give me your
Okay, I
eyes though.
see,
Put her
yeah.
eyes in there. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Just doesn't have a forehead.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really
But
honest.
I just don't know what caused the crazy laughter.
Because
The way you told
Andy,
the story.
yeah, you
Without
do.
a forehead, saying they don't have a forehead that's a hard thing to lose. And so it's hard. Like there's like a fourth of her skull missing. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The forehead
Normally-
section is
and here's why,
obliterated.
because normally when people don't have foreheads, they die. Like it's not something that's a
Right.
common enough accident so the person can get up and be
There's
like,
optional
I'm good,
parts
but
of your body. Forehead's not one of
yeah,
them. usually.
your frontal lobe is generally something you
Sure.
can't really live without. So the fact that it got pushed back and she's still functional, that's what's hard to understand
That's
about
what the Snapchat story kind of. That's what they fed me in the information. Like she no longer has a forehead, so that's why I just relayed that information.
There was a pause at one point. And we just thought you were gonna say like, "Oh yeah, she died,"
Yeah.
but there was just like there was
just
a
ended
beat,
there.
and then you're like, "And now she doesn't have a forehead," and that's what got.
Great tennis career though. Makes her more aerodynamic.
So back to where I think Nick and I got lost on
Yeah.
this train of thought was just the timeline of it. This happened on Friday.
Yeah.
But you've told this story on the podcast before. It's
on-
Monday. What
on what-
podcast were you on?
On one of our podcasts in the last month and a half, maybe 2
The
months,
forehead story.
I told that forehead story to you about this girl in a car
But then
wreck.
it came true again it came up on Snapchat a Friday as well.
No, I just thought about it again. Because we were talking about car wrecks. We were talking about
Gotcha.
dangers of being in a car or whatever.
Okay.
And
Then
so
I think I'm with
when
you.
I
I'm with
told
you
you
now.
on the
I'm with you now.
podcast, it was just such an aside.
This is
like
the one where we talked about the shoes flying off, right?
I did
Maybe,
not miss that.
actually.
Where I was like, yeah, my Converse would
fine.
never fly off. Yeah, Thanos could throw me around the room and nothing would happen to my shoes.
it's possible, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
I just
sounds
kind of
right.
told you like, oh yeah, it's on Snapchat. A girl was in a wreck.
That's how you and I often podcast. We just lean
Yeah.
into each other in the middle of it, say things to make each other happy.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
just
go
an
on.
aside, and it just kind of like went by, and
Sure.
you accepted the information and said, okay,
Sure.
I'll move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. No, yeah.
Joey said that's one of 3 things that happened.
I don't remember
on
what else
Friday.
happened.
We were talking about like the back end of Days Gone and how they built the motorcycle, and I was talking about like 3/4 of the car.
I don't even think that was funny though. I think you guys were just in the giggle fit.
Yeah,
still.
we were. We really
That
were.
was funny.
When you're like the 3/4 of a car is a boat.
And then I had to take it. Yeah, I had to.
It makes as much sense as that sounded like it did. Was there a third thing?
Barrett's
There was
telling
a
Barrett was like,
third.
yeah, how they built the motorcycle in Days Gone in the engine. They just took the coating from an actual vehicle and were like
They shaved it down.
they shaved
too.
down the coating so that it would operate as a motorcycle in the game, and they shaved down like 3/4 of it or whatever. And so I just said, well, and then-
I was saying in my experience with Days Gone, it felt like you're controlling a boat. Like I didn't like how it steered, and then he was just like, yeah, everyone knows 3/4 of a car is a boat.
And then,
and
we-
then Joey just burst out in laughter
and
again.
then there's also we were talking about Endgame and like us crying at certain parts, and Andy's like, yeah, I was open mouth crying.
It was, yeah.
Is that a sob? Are you sobbing at that
Such a
point?
sweet boy.
Yeah, like noise coming out.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
like no, because it was smiling. It was like smiling. Like it was that. Like it was, and I was, and as I was doing it,
You're precious. You're a precious
as I was
little
wondering,
boy.
as I did it, I was wondering, can anybody hear this? Because like it's loud.
I was sitting next to you and I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, got it. Sorry,
Oh my
guys.
god.
Why do Greg and Kevin say Thanos?
Because for years I read comic books
Yep,
and comic
same.
things that didn't tell you any pronunciation guides.
None.
So now when they say Thanos, it's still hard for me to throw that
sounds
switch.
wrong, yeah.
Also, I'm a moron. So what do you want me to do? Is this really that's the one? Have you listened to Games Daily where I literally I've just psyched myself up to say words?
And I quote,
PlayStation's president, Kenichiro.
I think the favorite thing that you've ever said is that I'm sure you guys understand this, but young Greg Miller didn't like the way jeans felt on his legs.
They were too coarse. You know what I mean? It felt like wearing cardboard. That's not my way.
Like someone someday needs to give your parents some sort of prize for raising you because it
Putting up
wasn't
with it.
easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, no, you're sure.
I-
That's true.
I like to imagine your aunt sitting with your uncle being like, I'm going to have to talk to him the next time he's fucking crying.
He's 17 years
Like,
old and
he
he's crying
just
when he
can't do-
fucking
he
gets his
can't do this.
dirt on his shoes.
I like my shoes, man. You know what I mean?
understand.
Now everybody else freaks out. You step on their shoes. Oh, but I do it as a kid. I'm a fucking weirdo, you know? I was ahead of the curve on that. I had some fresh Spider-Man kicks. I didn't want them getting ruined.
I understand.
You understand?
You got to keep him.
Do you
Gotta keep him
understand?
perfect. I do. I
I think you
understand
do.
completely. I don't like when my shit gets fucked up either.
It's true.
Oh no.
The image of Jim
Robotnik.
Carrey as Robotnik
looks
makes it
bad.
look like he's streaming, and it says, "Thank you, Sonic, for 200 bits."
Oh, that's really funny.
He looks like a character from Lazy Town.
Cameron Kennedy in the chat says it seems like that woman has her forehead again. So
Yeah, I'm
modern,
sure they
modern
put
science
a plate
caught
in it or
up.
something.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I was laughing about. I was like, oh sure, like normally when you get that, it's not
I see
safe.
what you're saying. You
You
can't-
got to pull the thing back out because
Yeah.
otherwise it's going into your brain. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and because that's still her forehead in a way. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But you're
You can lose an
ridiculous.
arm.
Here's
Yeah.
my other question before we round this out. Did I make the right choice in not going to the Buffalo Wild Wings?
No, it was really fun.
It was really
Yeah, you
good.
really missed
I
out.
did the thing where they were like Buffalo Wild Wings, and I got super excited about it.
He got
And
super
then
excited. He was like, Andy,
as we were
doggy dog,
leaving,
you're gonna do it?
I'm sure you'll sympathize with this. We're leaving. That we're finally going to lunch. I look at my watch, 1:59.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you have done?
I mean, we have nothing else to do and you can go home?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably bounce.
Go home.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's Wild Wings. I would have gone, but I would have been like, meh, and then I would have said, I'm not going to eat that much, and then I would have eaten way too
It
much.
was so good,
And
dude.
pretty snappy
This is the
service this
best
time,
food
too.
we've had there.
Service we've had.
They
Yeah.
stepped up their game. They listened.
Is that
Very
woman
good.
still there that's in charge and knows Tim's, or dates somebody that
We
Tim
didn't
knows?
see her.
She, if they were to, make the whole show about her, if base the entire operation on her, would be great. We gotta start going more,
Yeah.
Of course,
Go right now,
we have
yeah.
to be in the office consistently, which is
have,
tough.
We have to
we're
not
good
have
with that.
3 podcasts a day.
Yeah. Speaking of, we have to go do In Review. That's right,
my God.
MCU In Review back today, tomorrow for you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your post-show goodness and love. We'll talk to you later.